best foot forward on the scariest map, you know, that could have come out in the form of Mirage here. So we're going to find out. We are straight into the action, of course. Magic on this T side, and I think a lot of people on the edge of their seat to see what they've got in that locker. Quick boost into the apartments here, though. Lovely idea from the MongolZ. Really, really unorthodox against the grain for a CT pistol, and they are looking to disrupt as best as they possibly can. Ends up only being one, though, as they sort of dip 9-10 away. He will be completely overlooked. Misses out on that second opportunity, but he's dropped the bomb on the site, and they're very split, this T side. One down in the site, one in the apartments, one way back watching the underpass.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's all over the place right now.
Yeah, it really does. Techno finds one, but AW's there. He'll quickly lose his head. Now it's all on the shoulders of Masval. Recent form for him's been incredible, but this is a tough one to find. It's Cobra and Techno, both who have the ability to go toe-to-toe. So sharp, looking down. He doesn't capitalize on maybe an opportunity there as well, but Techno, he's a little angsty to fight as Masval's just trying to isolate desperately, not being given the fight, and eventually he will fall. There was a moment there that looked really dicey, but thankfully the MongolZ trade effectively, and they take that opening round.
Indeed, they do. And also able to deny the extra money for Magic, right? So, yeah, going to be in a tough spot for them as they will take the eco, go for the early AKs, and just hope to get their claws in, you know, hope to make the MongolZ worry, but we have just seen domination. It could happen here again. Another is similar-ish stories. I think that Magic's like floor is higher than Fisher College, unfortunately, but in terms of unfamiliar in LAN and things like this, you know, they're really going to play into this Magic matchup as well. But I don't know, sometimes you can just take these like CIS guys and copy and paste their setup and they generally do all right. So we'll see if that is the case. Quiet start into this one. USP out from Blitz as he's maybe looking to be the mule to get that that AWP as early as they possibly can.
I like as well for the MongolZ, at least these opening 2 rounds, they're putting a lot of onus on sending bodies through that B apartments, right? Actually kind of proactively taking that space. Here's Tenzi. Nice shot with a Deagle. Don't think it's worth the risk there for Mazzinho.
Yeah, but in comes the loot goblin of Blitz. He's like, I absolutely want that M4.
Yeah,
I
need
sacrifice my life. And he does get it, so huge bonus for Blitz himself. Looking good here. Tenzi still exists with that Deagle, of course, but I don't think he's necessarily going to be able to find anything else. Spotted out ever so slightly there, I think.
Yeah, they're trying to find a couple of heads. It'd be nice to get that consolation kills, but outside of that, nothing that really you care too much about. The bomb on the back of Masval here. He's got nothing to work with. Block no armor. Should be easy, should be simple. Mazzinho make sure that is the case. Nice work. Consolation kill. That's all it is. Nothing to really worry about. But this is the round where we really get a look into what Magic are all about. And again, for those who are maybe a little bit more unaware with this side, generally the names we throw out here for this side, Masval, Tenzi, kind of the 2 main ports of firepower as well. AW, just actually technically in terms of experience in a way. I will keep an eye on Moon too. When Moon gets going, especially with an AWP, I think he can look really good, but he's massively inconsistent. That's been my issue with this Magic side. Moon's consistency problems have been a bit of a worry for me. He has real high highs, but also real low lows. So if you get him on a good day, Magic can be fun, but 9-10 should win out this AWP head-to-head basically every day of the week.
Home tournament for Moon as well, so might be able to spur him forwards ever so slightly. This shot from 9-10 as he splits the difference. Not quite sure which target to choose. I think he could have had either of them. He ends up with neither of them, so a little awkward.
Oh, spotted on Mazzinho.
Big nade damage here. With that earlier tag as well, Tenzi going to be finished off. Masval smoked at the worst possible time. Nade comes in, minimal damage on that one, but Blitz keeping his cool to take another head. And Cobra Zero got the right idea on what's happening here over towards the palace. Flash comes in for him. Spade will eventually go down from the earlier tag. There's some trades back. Still not over just yet. And this is the always possible with a team like Magic. They have managed to turn this around. 3 versus 5 that, you know, goes 2 on 4 is a really, really good result, and they just take it. And this is what's going to happen. So many open fights, so much confidence. Round's never over. I can still win. And Magic play with that confidence so well.
Yeah, I'll reiterate my point. A couple of these guys towards Magic, I would make the argument, are sharper than a couple over towards the MongolZ, but the MongolZ have much better protocols, much better game plans. They are a much more solid side in terms of the calling department. Like, if you're putting IGL against IGL, right, of course, Blitz on one side, Fade 8 on the other side, you take Blitz every day of the week, you know, for the chess, a bit of a tactical genius there, but it's just the fact that they can fall back on individuals. Can Maswell give us a round? Can AW find a moment? Can Tenzi or Moon start to deliver? And this is the thing with Magic. They are going to cause a couple of issues at this tournament. That's why, for me, they are my dark horse. They just have enough firepower to fall back on. It's really just like, I wonder with this side is, how much more can you get out of Fade as a caller?
Pretty nervy round here, as the MongolZ, I think, have just been checked super early on.
Yeah.
And so playing further back, not wanting to give those earlier fights. Still confident for it in towards window. There's a boost up from Cobra Zero and a light spot coming in for both of those aforementioned players. But nothing too substantial just yet. 50 seconds left on in the round. Magic have kind of got to get a move on here as they've got that mid control, but what are they going to be able to do with it? Bomb coming in from ramp, which has just been freshly smoked off, will divert towards the Palace, but still not feeling super confident just yet. Blitz with a nice angle, but unfortunately the weaponry letting him down. They've managed to thin the herd, as it were, and no sight of the bomb just yet. Does get this CT side a little worried. Emphasis on little. Moon with a nice little bait and switch as he keeps it coming, and they've just got so much deep control of window in particular. Magic able to see it over the line, so very quickly, I think, turning some heads here are Magic.
That's it. And I hope that this tournament, they get to prove sort of the narrative that I'm trying to build about this side. That, like, I think a good, like, at least two players, like I would say, like, an initial, like, Tenzi and Maswell, I think they are destined for tier 1. Like, they're good enough. Like, if a team, you know, we've kind of seen it in the past where teams have sort of taken punts on, you know, like a Flamus or, you know, like a Tanier. These kind of guys who have kind of made their step up, and people have been like, oh, I wonder where they've come from. That's what Maswell and Tenzi, for me, feel like they can be. But then you've got AW, I think Oslo really does have his moments, maybe just not as often. But I hope they had to prove at this tournament just how good they actually can be, because I've really seen this side at its highest of highs, and they're really fun to watch. But they also do play a very tier 2 EU type of play, which is like, do nothing for a minute, wait, last 20 seconds, we pull off an execute. So you don't get it as often at this sort of top level. And I wonder how MongolZ deal with it, because it's actually really frustrating to play against. Like, it's a minute 30 of like, we've actually got to make sure that we hold on to our utility, which I think a lot of teams struggle with.
Yeah, when you're losing to it as well.
Yeah.
And just little things like we saw in the Palace, they're very happy to send the first guy out.
Yeah.
And then his teammates just like baiting him. And there's no recourse to that, you know, and it works a lot. Late trading, you might call it, but I think most people are going to see it as baiting for sure.
Yeah.
But it works. When you're in those lower moments, 3 versus 3, 2 versus 2, it works. Guessed a bit wrong here in this round. Not really expecting too much out from it anyway.
Yeah, it's a gamble, and they, you know, flip the coin wrong.
That is how it goes. They are still looking to go in. I honestly figured they might just hard save and deny kill bonuses and all that kind of thing, but still having a little look here. They've got some deagles that they want to test out. AW runs out of ammo. It's about to be a super cool 3K for him, but unfortunately not going to be the case here. Might even go down. Tenzi bails him out. And so it should be a cost-free round in the end for the T side. It is indeed. So Magic going to take control of the game. Looking good while doing so. And now we have to bring up some of these things. You know, MongolZ losing sight of the immediate game, trusting in their fundamentals, which might not be quite up to par. And it has suddenly gotten very close, hasn't it? I think, you know, people building confidence in the Magic side. An early timeout here from the Mongols.
This is honestly what I like to see, though. It's just the realization of, okay, hang on a second, this side, they've got something about them, right? And I think, you know, obviously, all the expectations that Mars and a lot of prep on towards Magic, and they do have a lot of tape, right? These guys play so much Tier 2 Counter-Strike, right? They're playing a lot online, but even with that, it's, you know, how do we put ourselves into positions of advantages, right? How do we find opportunities to really punish this Magic side? Because this is a team that are happy to sit back and do nothing. And you've got two ways you can go about it. You either play a default setup, you invite the pressure in, and then you just hope that you can kind of trade positively, because essentially, like, wherever you go, it's going to be like a 4v3 or a 5v3, depending on what the setup's looking like, right? Or do you do what MongolZ are doing in the opening 2 rounds, which is actually what I want them to do, get proactive. 2 rounds, they send players in towards B apartments, they go searching for information. This is what I want to see. I want to see people go poking and prodding in towards apartments, go looking in towards Palace, have a little push down mid, have a little push underpass as well. See what the reaction's like. That's maybe where you're going to find opportunities. This is a more basic round towards A.
Yeah, predictable stuff.
Kenzie.
It feels like from Magic that they're just immediately going fast after the pause, but they make it work time and time again. MongolZ feeling it slightly, but with that smoke coming in, it's surely got to be a save here, fellas. I know it's frustrating. I know it's annoying. This is the thing, man. You know, MongolZ as a team, as I said, like the culture of it, you know, nice guys or whatever, but I think in terms of the way that they approach the game sometimes, they're easily frustrated. They get emotional. They play their own game. They try and just rely on that a little too much, maybe. And it's also something, you know, you're talking about, oh, there's all this tape and everything for Magic. I think they're just going to bring a bit of a different game. You know, there's certainly got to be things and ideas that you don't need online necessarily, especially if you know there's a LAN coming up and things like this. So I think they will be like hiding things away, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And MongolZ already getting blindsided by quite a bit here. No, I agree. But also as well, that the thing that I'm seeing, at least from this Magic side, this is actually quite akin to when they play against sides that are a little bit lesser down than them within kind of the tier 2 or tier 3, or they play against like in games that don't really mean that much to them, like it's maybe not going to affect their VRS or not going to affect their tournament standings or whatever. They do just play super puggy and they kind of just fly into fights, right? But when they play against teams they care, this was sort of a little bit more of what they look like, right? They're a bit more reserved in their initial approach. They like to step back and kind of invite in a bit of pressure, and they like to leave things a little bit late. But you know, I know this, and if I know this, the Mongols know this. It doesn't mean you can counter it, like, because if they're not going for information gathers, they are just hoping that they can trade well. That's basically all you can fall back on. All we're seeing is late round executions. You know, it's like, obviously not to the same level, but it's like very like, you know, PGL Stockholm Na'Vi kind of vibes, right? Sure. You know what I mean? Like, that's a real throwback. But, you know, really like late round, last 10 seconds, let's go for a hit here and just try and overwhelm. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these teams in Magic's bracket, as we sort of started throwing in now, you know, with the VRS and everything that you can kind of talk about, help split up those tier 1, tier 2, tier 1.5. But, you know, you look around maybe 10 ranks up, 10 ranks down from where Magic are. They just turn the dial in a round. It's either 0 or 10, or maybe now it's 7. You know, really confusing to know what approach they're going to try and bring. It is getting scrappy here very quickly, though, as the Mongols trying to take some early fights. Will lose another. AW works around his teammates. Kills. I don't know how I feel about this, though. The bomb is really leading the charge, and indeed he does call for some assistance to make sure he doesn't go down. Moon's out of round as he finds 2 very key frags to get that one going. Mongol's not looking good, man. No. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. You know, we've seen this 4 versus 2 in the super early round for Magic, and since then they have been in full control of proceedings here. It's open, it's lacking smokes. They're happy to take the fights. They test the water on that. Can we actually bring our puggy style to the game? Can we get away with that, knowing that we can fall back on the executes if needed? So far, the answer is yes. They're looking very good. MongolZ still trying to find a response. I'm so glad to see the Magic are playing to this level. The real worry, and I've caught this out a few times online, they just sometimes don't step up in the way that we'd expect of them. They can't always find consistency across tournaments. This is good. They're starting out the gate strong here at Astana.
The individuals are looking sharp. 3 towards B. He's got a bold move to make. Sveidate's selling a bit of a ruse here as he's kind of trying to draw out a fight. The bomb's nowhere to be seen. It's still over towards spawn, but is it rotating over?
Getting that lineup. But yeah, where is that bomb going? It's angling towards A.
I think this is an A split here. A split
Yeah,
with 2 players
so.
through connector.
Yeah.
And they go late.
Whether they can find that space, of course.
And also-
Smoke con to give them the room.
Something that we're seeing quite a lot. Magic are keeping hold of their utility where MongolZ are using this really early. Look how much util this T side have got.
Yeah. Contact flashes, though. Not necessarily going to need to go all that deep. Tenzi keeps it coming.
My
Looking
boy.
absolutely fantastic. And
Telling
indeed, they don't need that utility necessarily as they break in. Down, Techno will go. So even like saves and things are starting to look challenging for the MongolZ. Uh-oh. This really could get bad.
Tenzi tier 1 within a year. I'm saying it. Asphalt should join him too, to be honest. But this is looking really bad for the MongolZ, but really good for Magic. This is becoming a very interesting Mirage here. And Magic are doing so well to give themselves some breathing room. Their map pick, but they're starting off the series strong. And it's just a worry that Inferno is one of those maps that's kind of akin in terms of the way it's approached to that of a Mirage. And if you can't outpug this side on Mirage, are you going to be able to do it on Inferno?
Well, yeah. And do they get under your skin by then, really? Not much to write home about here for MongolZ. These are the types of rounds that can often get you started. And something that I would think they really, really built their identity on was winning a lot of unlikely force buys. Also on that T side, but certainly could be doable here. Cobra Zero, Molotov'd off. Starting very, very slow. Magic, I don't think they want to let a round like this slip away, and you can feel that with the way they are playing things here. Back to T-spawn, back towards A. Kind of a double pump of an execute here, I think, is what's on the cards. But we'll see. In close proximity, it's ultimately 4 players for the CT side, and Cobra Zero starts to shore up his position over here as well. So MongolZ are prepared for this one.
Yeah, this could be a bloodbath. I think for Magic, they were sort of hoping that really they could draw players away from this side, that the fake execution was going to draw them towards B. But it might not make a difference. Tenzi, he'll open up things well. Mazzini 0 for 2. 9-10 was in there as well, but AW and Masfal going to give them something to work with. But it's all on the shoulders of Masfal. 14 points of HP. 15 seconds to spam through the box, can't quite connect. And neither can his shots. It looked a little dicey. The double pump execute, it didn't draw the MongolZ away from the A site. If anything, it drew them to it. They stayed there and they had the play. And that is also as well the downside of these late round executions that Magic like to throw in. If they don't come to plan, you are left in a really awkward spot. And that's exactly what we saw.
Yeah, I mean, hindsight is obviously a benefit here, but the problem with a round like that is that the MongolZ are on a lower buy. There's no pressure. They're not expected to win.
Yeah.
So they're not going to react to the carrot and stick, as it were. They're not going to over-rotate. And so you just kind of misread the situation. If you are Magic, probably would have got a bit more out of it if they just sent it on an execute, you know, even if it is later on in the round. And it's tough. I said those are the types of rounds that MongolZ like winning, and of course can just reset the nature of the game. So Magic have to be very careful, I think, that the MongolZ don't turn this into anything, but it certainly feels like it could be possible. Heavy upgrades, you know, the AK, the AWP in play. Really, really looking good for the CT side at large, and a great boon into the coffers as well. So all these things looking very good.
Real freeze-off from both sides here. So tentative, so nervy in ways, but Masfal will find one, and it just falls away. I like that. It's a smoke in towards pass. It goes just before it plumes. It's a wild move by Blitz, and he'll lose his life, and so will Cobra. So this is it. These freeze cores, their Magic's territory, it's their turf, and it's where they do their best work. That's a statement of a round. Flawless from Magic. Yes, you may have kind of found us in a bit of a slip up in the one prior, but we'll bite back, and my God, do they sink their teeth into that one. They've guaranteed a lead now on the T side, and again, they continue to look really strong on this Mirage. I'm really impressed.
Yeah. Absolute mess from MongolZ as well. They're really looking uncomfortable.
Like, what is that double play into mid as well? Dive out a window, dive out a short with
I'd love to
no
see
flash.
The low lights. You know what I mean? We're obviously not going to get them because it's just not replay material. But like, it's yeah, I don't know what Blitz flying down. He's sort of shooting the wall a little bit and stuff. Like, it just looks very, very dodgy.
You need 9-10 from A site. But he's playing CT, holding towards ramp, right? You need him to kind of move up in towards triple, and essentially like either palm tree flash if you're going to go deep out that way, or shallow flash over connector to send them out. But that doesn't happen, so they both dive out and they're just dead immediately. It's like, all right, round done then.
Really, really uncomfortable, and you've just won that force buy as well, so
yeah,
you know, you'd expect you to be better in some looser situations. Maybe that's what they're trying to create, but perhaps a bit too loose. Fighting fire with fire. It is the MongolZ getting burned in the 3rd degree. But we'll find out. Techno does get a mistimed jump peak. He manages to make it back, and a lot of damage dished out here. So these particular trades in towards B going to be tough. The AWP, though, is still in the conversation. 9-10 been spotted moving out. He's missed tracked, but the quickscope is indeed quick enough. Caught with nade in hand, though. The panic, the timing beats are off. MassVal with a big find. Dink for dink, but the AK comes out on top, and it's going to be Blitz here. Feeling capable in the 1 versus 2. In towards the shelf angle here. Impenetrable, and MassVal will see it off. Magic looking really, really quite good. And the MongolZ again. Core. And this is another thing that you see from like the tier 2. We saw it with like the AWPers. Just, I like to call it like syncopated, which is a bit of a musical term, you know, that you sort of like offbeat, doesn't quite make sense. 9-10, he looks in here, he's like, right, the peak should be coming. If there's someone there, it doesn't come. Okay, there's no one there. And then there's a peak, you know? So they're able to play in their mind. They know the conventional approach and the conventional beats of a round and a moment, and they work against that. It's kind of like anti-instinct at times for Magic. Another thing that these CIS players are just so good at.
MongolZ are on a 4 beat, Magic on a 3, right?
There you go.
They do a little bit different, you know what I mean? They like to kind of throw out a little bit of a curveball, a little bit of a change-up.
Sometimes it feels they might be on one of those wacky ones, you know, like 16, 18.
Do you know what? Okay,
it
put it this way. If we're doing music terms, right? You know, the MongolZ like an orchestra, Magic are like jazz. Right? It's you know, it's very kind of loose in the way they like to go about it, and also the thing that makes Magic kind of fun, as we're seeing here, like they are just backing themselves as individuals. They're like, okay, I'll get mine.
Yeah,
like, you know, I've got it. I back myself. You know, Moon in that fight, like if he dies, he throws away the round. He's like, I'm winning this, and he does. And
it's a very interesting thing that I think you have to know the rules in order to break them.
Yes,
you know, and then work around all of that. And Magic, again, teams of their ilk are really, really good at doing that. Because there's so many teams like them that on a baseline play similar Counter-Strike. So it's like, how do we break that up? How do we actually win rounds against teams like us almost? That you could, in a way, the MongolZ maybe at one time were considered a similar kind of approach. Early damage onto Tenzi here.
Oh my God, look.
25 seconds.
They're pulling away.
Panic rotate. I think there's tiny bits of utility that go over A. MassVal's even sold his life for it. But indeed, they'll find the bomb plant. Now, whether they hold on to it is another story. There's so many smokes. But they are starting to dissipate a little here for that CT side to start working their way in. Just not winning out the fights at this point is the tough thing. Still not a bad looking 3 versus 2. But before I even get the words out, Moon claps one, AW gets the next. My God, Magic is absolutely clinical here.
What a move as well, because they do the initial execute and then no one moves. They don't hear anything. They've also got a player playing below the window. He has no steps. So for him, he's like, they're not here, it's a fake. This is 2 players throwing 2 sets of smoke. The other 3 are towards A. So you can see they panic and they rotate and they start bombing it towards that A site with about 24 seconds on the clock. And the 3 guys in apartments just stroll on out. No one's there. They clear their corners, no one's home. Love that. Really, really fun move. And again, a little bit of a kind of a showing of what this Magic side have got. It's quite loose. It very easily can fall apart as well. Even just one player towards B playing, you know, Get Right or Jail throws that round completely up in the air, but it doesn't, and ends up being quite nice. And I'm surprised as well the Mongols don't learn their lesson, because we saw the round that they won to get their 3rd. It was a double pump execute towards A, where they just stayed on the side. They didn't move. They didn't nibble. They didn't bite. They waited, and then they came back in. That time, the execute comes through, and they completely hightail it, and like, oh, it's got to be a fake.
Yeah, looks really nice as well as they get it going. And they are feeling good. The vibe's high.
Yeah. Too right.
Love with the jerseys as well. Some great colours on the jerseys, I have to say. Magic's great name. You know, I see a good future for this team.
Yes. A win here is really good for their VRS. I think we had a little graphic that came up earlier. Something like they go from in the 40s to in the 30s, basically. Good spot to be in. Fade 8 under pressure, but they're diving into his not-so-loving arms as the Doolies go for 3.
9-10 will manage to trade one back here from the ramp. Now Bomb going to bail and look to maybe head towards B, just a complete reapproach. Obviously, a redesign of the round for MongolZ is going to be needed. This was what feels like one of their last chances to get this game going.
Yeah.
To really get into this map. They're going to split up slightly. It's a nice little dig mission, though, coming in from MassVal to ultimately confirm the round. But Spade 8, great round from him, of course. The Julie's getting all the work done. And they played right into their hands. Again, we talk about homework, we talk about preparation for your opponent. Seems like Magic did it all. It's not only Julie's position, but that smoke, of course. And the Mongols still tried to go for it, which 9-3 you might call, I guess, a fine line between stupidity and bravery is what I might say. If you can read between the lines, you might understand what I'm getting at. All the same, Magic hitting double digits and looking to close this one out. Relatively pacey, got to be careful. Some good tags landing at the start of the round, but their stronger weaponry able to see it off. Techno on the tech. Wait a minute. Hold up. As he has made this round look very, very doable, and MassVal actually finds himself fully alone.
That's the first time we've seen this game where Magic have got, like, wildly overconfident. They've just overfought there.
I mean, Techno's hit some crazy shots.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
Let's be real.
That 3rd one in particular is the one that really was huge. The second he's kind of down below. It's an awkward angle to fight one when you're on top of short. But for MassVal, decisions they made here, does he actually give this a go? Personally, I would. I'd give it a look in. That's the perfect retake, little care package there as well. Right. M4 and a smoke down. Nice little spot there by the observers.
Just needs that kit. I think it's the problem. And, you know, it's...
Do they have one is the question, really.
Predictable that one player is obviously on the site, but where is this other guy? You know, where is he lurking? Where is he playing from? So he'll go for an upgrade. He might get that smoke for us, but unfortunately, the round not going to happen. A little gift comes his way to get some kill bonus going in. But yeah, I don't think there was a kit drop, to be honest.
I'm not sure either.
So MongolZ with what could be a pretty big find. They have to turn this diamond into a really big opportunity now, into a gap close. And we'll see now if Magic can just hold on. These are the kinds of moments where the only way you can build up the experience of being sort of chased and losing out a map on LAN and whatnot is to experience it for real. So you just have to be very, very careful with how they see this one over the line.
Pop shots with the scout as well. He's hoping for a little fortune, but not coming his way just yet. The buyback in isn't bad for Magic. Like they obviously have to kind of fortify themselves. That's a bold move by Spade 8. lose his life. Nade behind it too, but doesn't go deep enough to really trouble Masval here, who keeps an aggressive stance. And by his position being kind of aggressive, it does allow Magic, despite the numbers disadvantage, to still hold decent presence towards mid-May.
That is true. Oh, in connector in particular, they might think it's a bit clearer than it should be, and quick reactions from Blitz. And M4 probably sees that one off. Not quite the case here, so going to be a solid man advantage for the MongolZ to capitalize on.
This is bold.
Got to be bold. In a round like this, trying to create some space, maybe find just one kill. Tenzi's in a good spot, but the majority of that attacking side is coming his way here, so feels kind of unwinnable with there being no real opportunity to find a kill in towards middle.
Bomb has been planted.
I think it is just going to be over. They've got a little tiny crossfire here, but the scariest in the world, as Cobra even sees off the attacking player of that, you know, the trap set, but not quite sprung. So looking good. MongolZ, flawless round here. It's the start of a long trail to even things up, but it started quite nicely.
Yeah, long trail, but you have the right steps. Okay, up to 5. The 6th should come pretty naturally as well. Or is it going to be money to fall back on before Magic kicks towards this next? So, Scout on M4 saved is about as good as it gets. And really, for Svedek Tenzi AW, the guys who dropped in towards that round, number 15, just then, they don't have the funds to fall back on anything. And for Moon and Maswell, they don't want to buy up or drop up anything as well, because if they die in this round, then they don't have any money in towards the next. So I think this would essentially just be a full save around the M4 and Scout. If those two can get a couple of kills, that'd be nice. And the way you win a round like this as well, while it's very unlikely, is you've got to try and facilitate Masval and Moon. And there's one or two ways you can go about this. Either for Svedek Tenzi and AW, they are cannon fodder. They just draw the crosshairs off, and then Masval and Moon trade, most likely Masval, right? So they're kind of human flashbangs. Or the flip side is, and we see this a bit more in the tier 2, which is you actually use the rifle as the first point of contact. So Masval will get aggressive. He'll either push ramp or push palace or push apartments, whatever it is, push mid maybe, gets a kill to drop over a gun to one of those pistols, and then they get a bit of fortune there. That's the two ways you approach it, really, to try and win a round like this. We'll see what Magic opt for.
I like this idea, the little double swing.
Option 2, right? Masval takes first contact, gets the gun, and now that's recoverable.
Yeah.
They don't know it yet, but it is recoverable at some point.
Yeah, for sure. An advantage. Get that M4 moving. Hit a different spot here.
Yeah, and he'll be really fluid in a round like this, right? He'll continue moving, right? He basically will just react to everything. Any bit of, you know, utility or information that they gain, that's where he'll head.
Moves up towards short. Oh, Cobra Zero, though, looking good on the entries. And that M4 goes down. The gun not necessarily recovered, unfortunately, in the apartments. So they'll still try and give this one a go, but scouting 2 USBs not really all that threatening. And Moon's actually very far away. Trying to use his range to his advantage, and there you go. Decent job. These other players, 2 of them are tagged up heavily enough to go down in one shot, so could be dangerous. And Moon is actually threading his way through here to potentially threaten the bomb site itself. They think that they would have seen him doing this. So just have to be aware, just have to be careful. Not really enough time for him, unfortunately. He'd have to go charging in and give his element of surprise away. So it will be a 6 for the MongolZ. And again, pretty clean. Not too costly. Just waiting to see what Magic have got in store once they can stabilize that econ.
Terrorists win.
It started all right. Maswell gets his kill. They just don't go and recover that gun. I feel like if they had maybe just taken the risk of sending one of the pistols in, see if you can scoop it up and fall back, you put yourself in a bit of a nicer spot. This second kill by Cobra is really important, though. You catch Masval, and that just gives you the space to scale up in towards B. And MongolZ, it's taken a while, but they're starting to click a little better. I mean, when they're on the T side and they're the ones controlling the tempo and the pace of this game, They feel a lot more comfortable. Magic, you can see, is catching off guard a bit more.
A lot of early nades here. Yeah, it's going to stop them going for an advanced position, though, so kind of a nice idea, I think, from the MongolZ there. Angling towards B, the bomb not quite with them just yet. Mid control, though, is softly conceded. So curious to see, like, what is the plan here? They're actually pulling away as the apartments get smoked off, and now fancying their chances towards mid, maybe. It's going to be a straight execute, and I mean, still have utility remaining here, of course, for the MongolZ. Magic just have to hold the line. They've got so much mid control, but that leaves them pretty far away from the bomb sites here, Neo, so I do worry.
This could be a bloodbath towards A. There is, I mean, all these players are so close to each other on the Magic side that they might just instantly react to this. So MongolZ, I think this opening fight is going to be really quite perfect. You can give yourself a numbers advantage, you put yourself at such a big step forward in this round. The util's excellent as well. Blocked out key positions, the double nade is great, blitz. Amazinho combine well, bomb goes down, MongolZ done very well in this round. The only thing they have to be careful of is this flank brewing by Spade.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna put it on a simmer, really. Don't like it.
If it's a 5v4, he gives that a look all day.
Yeah, for sure. You've also, look, you've got like most of your players coming in through the tightest choke point. It's a little bit of a mismanagement. Flank needed to be faster, or you needed someone else from B to head up CT. That's the big thing, that you've lost just so much control over there. But they tried to cheese it a little bit, all play in towards Con. And this is again where that approach of being slightly against the grain in your ideas, it's like, okay, the conventional idea is to do this. We're going to do the unconventional one. Yeah. It can kind of catch you off. Definitely done so in that round, and they are stuck. How do you get this car out of the mud here? And again, that's another difficult question to answer for a team that's just never really been in this position.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can see MongolZ are believing that it's like, okay, swap onto the T side, we'll be fine. You know, like starting to build up that belief in themselves.
Yeah, agreed. 3-round game. Magic are still 3 rounds away. Missed window smoke.
Should be one of those things, you know, like footballers, they get a yellow card or a red card and you kind of like dock their pay for a week.
Yeah.
I think a missed smoke.
Missed window smoke?
Yeah. Should be...
what, docking their pay?
Yeah. Like a, I don't know,
I think
$200 fine or
yeah,
whatever.
I think it's more like in football clubs, we would normally have like fines for like a variety of things. Like if you're late to training, 10 quid, right?
Yeah,
or you know,
sense.
like if you, I mean, yellows you'd have to pay like 50 quid for
it's
yellow.
also because you can like miss
red.
games and stuff, right?
Yeah,
so
but you have to pay to the FA, not to like the club.
Oh, right. Okay.
So club fines for like random stuff, and I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
Miss smoke, club fine, you know, 100 quid goes into like the team meal at an event or whatnot. Right, break on the smoke. Sveni's kind of split the net here. Did he get spotted now? No, now he's known about. He's still somehow in this smoke though.
They go for the bomb plant. I was going to say, he's caught on a reload. He goes crazy. Had to do something.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be watching you like a hawk. It is Moon, who's halfway moving away. And the Magic breaking down. The tricks are being revealed.
Yeah.
As MongolZ are figuring them out here. Timeout coming in from that Magic side. Try and see if they have anything else up their sleeve. Which is, of course, where that little phrase comes from.
You know, unlike Harry Potter, there's only so many times you can spam Expelliarmus, right? You know, you got to start having a little bit more in the strat book. And unfortunately for Magic, they've just not offered up really enough here in the second. It's been kind of textbook, a little bit too easy to read, a little bit flat as well with the MongolZ. The variation that's come through on this T side has been kind of nice. There's a bit more to fall back on. And this is a side that, you know, it's taken them a while in this map, but they are really awake now. And despite the scoreline still favoring Magic, it's MongolZ who lead in terms of momentum. They feel like the side that are easier to back at the moment, just because Magic, from such a wealth of a lead in the first half, have offered up so little on their CT side. It is really concerning. Only the 1 round so far. Shoulder spotted. Yeah, too easy. Mass foul. I don't think he realizes that all you need to do is tag up a hand, and 9-10 has got the mechanics to punish. As Moon goes for a left eye peek on that window position, you're always losing that. These are things that you don't get punished for in Tier 2, but at this level, you will.
Not looking good. Magic trying to desperately patch up some of the holes here as they go for a push down the ramp, which they will get away with. How useful is this? It's a long route to get anywhere influential. And you're 5-on-3, it's like, okay, they're not coming A, but what use is that? You know, you can't really do too much with that. And guess what? If they're not coming A, probably going B, and you've got no one on B. Blitz just demolishes them. If we catch that one in the replays, that looks fast. All the same, Payday to save the AWP, and this is crashing down around them, man. Really not looking good for Magic, and if it couldn't get any worse, the timing is dreadful to save that up.
Yeah, that's tough. That is really tough. This looks so good now for MongolZ. And yeah, we keep saying it, but Magic just really are not offering up enough at all. There's just not really...
There's losing, and then there's just not being in the game.
Yeah,
right?
They're, you know, on the CT side, they are really going out of a whimper here. And the T side was so fun, but it's they're in complete control, right? They are dictating how and when certain things happen, not what we got here where they're reacting to it. And the reactions are poor. Double MP9 up, a few upgraded pistols. Of a wing and a prayer, really, to try and get around like this over the board. Small amount of utility. We got 2 smokes. That's it. They're essentially gambling A here as well.
Could work out for them. It really could. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so heavily stacked on top of each other. I'm a bit worried here. This could be really devastating. 5-7 in that corner. They don't quite match up, do they? It's not in harmony as it was on that T side. As they will just be absolutely walked over. Not even one kill with that setup. I know you've got the weaker weaponry, but...
Might not be 1 kill at all.
Yeah, well, true. Masval remains alone here. He's being watched. Down he will go, and it is indeed devastating, but maybe the opposite way that I was expecting. I thought, you know, 5-7 for 1, MP9 trades off of him, something like this. But just absolutely nothing. Magic with the timeouts. They are panicking. The ship taking on water. They are quickly sinking. I think they're discovering that nobody knows how to get this one going again.
Yeah.
Really, really struggling.
Not got enough buckets to beat it out, right?
Not played enough Sea of Thieves.
I've actually never played it. I've heard good things, though.
That's all right.
There's a new one at the moment, which apparently is like a...
Yeah.
Whatever it's called, who knows?
Wild Run or something.
Yeah, apparently it's pretty good.
Pirates are cool.
Pirates are cool.
They're remastering that Black Flag as well.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I enjoyed that back in the day.
Ah, man. On the open seas, and they all start singing the sea shanties.
Yeah.
Nearly messed that one up. But yeah, that was a good time. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully they have an extensive catalogue of shanties this time around. But no plain sailing here.
No, we've hit a little snag here. We are at a tech issue. I can't even really tell.
Now, we love this game, don't we? Like, figuring out what the tech issue is.
It's definitely Magic, for sure. You can see... Yeah, okay, here we go. Trying to figure something out. What is the issue? I kind of always put into tiers, right? You've got, like, like, the first sort of, like, level is just, like, a tech pause, like we've got now, is what it is. Second level is when headsets are off. That's like, oh, we're in trouble, right? Something a little bit more serious here. A few admins over and whatnot. The severe levels, when you see players standing up, you're like, okay, this game is not getting started anytime soon. Thankfully, we're just at level 1 right now, which is fine.
It's like DEF CON, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which I can't remember. It's the lower number on DEF CON is worse.
Yeah, maybe I should do it that way as well.
DEF CON 5 is like
That's all right.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
when it goes DEFCON 1, it's, you know, the world's ending or
The
whatever.
world's ending. There we go. So
I
yeah,
think.
we're at DEFCON
Don't work in the
5,
US
I guess
government
technically,
myself.
but mine's like a 3-tier system. So
Okay.
DEFCON 3.
Okay, there you go.
We've got confirmation.
Confirmation.
There we go. DEFCON 1 is the biggest. There we go. So yeah, we're at
Important
DEFCON.
info.
We're at DEFCON 3 right now. It's not that bad. A little bit of a tech issue. Headsets are still on. If I see a headset, so a few of them start coming off, that's DEFCON 2. That's like, oh, okay, a couple of alarm bells, you know,
Yeah.
sending the troops, i.e. the admins, to go fix
Well,
it.
indeed.
And then DEFCON 1, it's like, all right, guys, we'll see you soon.
Yeah, no one can help. Yeah, DEFCON 1's like break time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yes,
there you
exactly.
go. It looks all good. I think maybe like a game crash, and then you've got to get back in, and, you know, phones are closely guarded, and Steam guards and all this are needed,
Yeah.
you know, whatever it is. So just a little bit of a process, but hopefully not going to be waiting too long on this one. Yeah, looking very, very good for the MongolZ, though, as we are just having a little look. It's a very keen run after winning that force buy. They are yet to lose a round and getting very dominant. You know, the rifles have just not impressed at all.
No, yeah, exactly that. You know, where we're at the moment, you know, all tied square at kind of 10 apiece, but it's just the fact that it's been this 7-round run, right? It's this, you know, kind of, well, not only just 7 rounds, it's kind of the way these 7 rounds have been won. Like, they're not close. A lot of them are really, really lopsided. And we did see moments like that from Magic as well in towards the first half, and that probably makes it even more damning. It's the fact that not only is it kind of an issue of, yes, you're losing rounds, a lot of them, and you're losing them quite one-sidedly, but you're like 9-3 up. You're flying off that first half. You look so, so good, and you're a shadow of your former self. There is really not a lot on offer. On the flip side as well, you got Mazinho playing quite well, 9-10, Techno, Cobra, they're all involved in the kills, which is what you want to see, right? And Blitz kind of pulling up the rear, but that's to be expected. On the other side, you know, you got AW who's not looked super, super sharp. Moon's had moments here and there. It's Tenzi, Masval, and Svade who's been really doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but we kind of want more, especially something like an AW. But even like for Moon, 9-10's looks super sharp. He needs to make life uncomfortable for him, but he's not been doing that.
It's just really hard to like turn around and be like, where do you look?
Yeah.
You don't have a player that you can turn to in times of need. Might not even need to be the captain, but you know, we often look at those veterans, at those older guys, to kind of just give you a bit of a pep talk, or I remember this one time, or whatever. And then as a team, you can't necessarily draw on much experience either, whereas the MongolZ have got spades and spades of it. So yeah, you have to be really, really, really careful for Magic, and I think maybe the time for being careful is now over. You actually have to panic, you actually have to get a bit desperate and try and get back on the board. Often happens here though, when things even up. Perfect time for a tech pause, you might say.
Yeah.
And indeed, Magic might be able to flip things on its head.
Yeah, I guess, like, you know, you can naturally sort of ice out your opponents. And we talk about this a lot when we get tech pauses. You know, they're, you know, much more common online. And when you do get those tech pauses, you know, not allowed to talk and whatnot, but how do players deal with when they just have to sit there? Some players are very good at like visualizing and, you know, staying quite locked in and quite clued into what's going on. Other players start to drift, I think, a little bit, and they start to kind of check out a little bit, and that can obviously cause a few issues. So it's how players deal with it when you can't talk and you just got to sit there. You're one with your own thoughts, and well, I know for plenty of people, it'll be kind of scary. You're like, what do I think about here? How do I make this work? We're back live, and Blitz will open up proceedings. It's Trade 8. On the flip side, who falls? Bomb planted. Masval can't do anything to deny, and 9-10's making worries all the more worse. Tenzi, Masval, and Moon got a decision to be made here of do they want to give this one a proper look in. Masval only 1 for 1. It might be a soft save.
Think about clicking heads, Neo. Of course. That's what you paid for. That's what you were born for at this level. Headshot machines, Blitz with a really nice find to just keep them occupied, just keep them drawn towards him and maybe apprehensive to fully send it, knowing that there could be a flank at any time. So he's really done well. Save not quite going to happen for the AWP. M4 should be okay, though, by the looks of things. All the same, it really doesn't matter, you know what I mean? Like, buys and econ and all this kind of conversation is generally nuanced. We don't need nuance here.
Yeah.
That tells you what's been going on. 8 in a row.
Yeah, you don't need nuance when it's 8 on the bounce. Yeah.
And also very, very dominant.
Yeah.
You know. So, Magic just need some sort of...
divine intervention.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, I don't necessarily want to lean towards it. The Mongols have maybe stolen it away. They just need like a pocket round or a hero. And I don't know. It feels at this point it's more Mongols losing a round rather than Magic pulling one out of thin air.
Yeah. I think you're right. I really do feel like this is where you need a contingency plan of like a pocket round to call of like, right, let's push ramp here, you know, or let's split the aggression, let's push ramp, let's push palace, see if we can do something that's a little bit different that catches them off guard. Maybe like a mid-crunch. I like the idea because it's worked. You need a round to flip the script just to force Mongols to take a beat, take a breather. That's what we've got here in round number 22. They've gone for a mid-crunch and it's worked. Left all on the shoulders now, Mazzinho. First fight is a little labor, but it'll get there in the end as AW will drop. But still surely impossible to recover this C4.
Yeah, I mean, maybe just about like taking some damage and taking some guns away. Triple swing coming in from the Magic side of things. So now it does get interesting. 11-11 breaking the deadlock just in the nick of time. Immediate timeout, you would imagine, from the Mongol side. Indeed it is. Their last one here of regulation, but could be knocking that overtime in pretty early on into the B-Stream life cycle here. And it certainly feels like a game kind of deserving of it. The Mongols, though, you do feel that they had such an ascendancy that they should have been able to close things out.
Yeah.
They still can, of course. So, is there anything else for Magic? Lovely little round from them. Can they deliver in the same sort of way here into round number 23? We'll be going the distance for this one.
Whether you call it a curse or a blessing, we always have a lot of overtimes. It's very akin for us. I feel like we get quite...
More recently,
yeah,
we've done well.
Quite a few decent. We had like a 5 overtime, not even that long ago.
Yep.
Like a 4 as well, like last week. It was... That's some long ones. And I do feel like this one's got an OT brewing in it as well. Map 1 OT as well for this series. Makes up for the very lopsided opening series of the day as well.
Yeah. Mongols blindsided by this team for sure. They've done really well to bring it back this close, especially after losing the pistol in this second half. You kind of start to think it's over before it even gets going. Not the case. Special round here as they go bursting in. Cobra's gone deep as well to try and take matters into his own hands, and they have indeed called a bit of a freeze to just see what he can do. He will clear out B all by himself, and yet they still dedicate on to this A bomb site. So not sure how I feel about this. It's a different game over here, and indeed the CT side looking pretty good on the retake. Masval will be left relatively low. It's straight onto the bomb, though. They got to get him off. Masval just going in for the whole blitz, moves fast, and he will indeed take it down. Beautiful movement. Panic setting in, alarm bells ringing, but performing under the pressure to net number 12. I thought he had that.
Yeah, thank God Blitz can bunny hop. That honestly made such a big difference. If he failed the bunny hop, he doesn't get round the corner in time. I think we might even see it here.
Wow, perfection. Actual perfection.
As close as it gets. God, bails them out. I mean, the nade, I don't know, but I think the nade would have gone off too late. So, in the end, well done. Map point, Mongols on Magic's map pick. And from 9-3 at the half, what a run, and what an oversight as well from Moon. He doesn't realize that from the booster angle, he's completely exposed.
Great time for all this. You know what I mean? Like, Mongols, they've clearly got a few saved rounds. For moments like this where it's like, do or die, and things that we just haven't quite seen from them, maybe getting a little boost heavy will cost them the second time around. Connector going to be a dangerous spot over here. Cobra Zero, though, looking good on a spray transfer. A relative range as well. Spade 8 trying to find just one more. AW is kind of out of the round because of how low he is. Mazinho does go down, and all of a sudden it opens back up. Cobra Zero, incredibly low. Blitz can maybe survive a fight if things go his way. The late boost into the window, though.
I like this.
They expect this. The bomb is now isolated. And it's really just all a question of timing. And in particular, AW in the corner. Does he get checked?
Oh, my.
Oh,
no. He doesn't actually see his hand. AW should get blitzed here, despite the low HP on him. And he does. That's it. That's the round. There's absolutely nothing Cobra can do. He's just too far away. 12 seconds. He's dead to rights. He's also hurt now as well, so there's absolutely no chance he can make a difference here. What an oversight. We're going into overtime. They don't even give Cobra the fight. That is an oversight. He just doesn't fully clear connector. If he got that connector kill, I think he then doubles back to join up with his IGL, but it's quite a bold call, I will say, by Magic, because you both are playing isolated. Like, either of you lose an aim duel, that round's done. You're losing by virtue of the numbers game, but AW in a really unorthodox position, like deep apartments and playing on the close angle here, just no way it's going to be properly cleared or in time with a left eye peek, and of course saw that connector position which doesn't get checked properly. So we go again, overtime required.
indeed. I think we wanted it from this map, as both teams have really put the work in to take us the distance. And now a big reset for that CT side is often so beneficial, particularly from a financial standpoint, but you just see it sometimes. We say like the release of the pressure valve.
Yeah.
And I think that, particularly for a CT side, it's just one less thing to worry about, that it's like, oh, if I go for this peak and I might go down. It's all almost on a subconscious level.
Yeah.
And they are way more confident to take the open fights, and indeed they're winning them 5 versus 3 to kick off proceedings. Is it going to be enough? I think the answer is yes. Moon nearly 2 for 1. He will indeed find 2 by himself. Mazinho dealt with swiftly. So Magic first to 13 and looking good while doing so.
Yeah, great way to start off this OT as well. When we get that great reset of OT, you know, you were touching on it, like it's not really so much about the econ side of things, it's just the mental state. And I think you get that sigh of relief of, okay, like it's not the end of the world. We've now got a chance here, and well, it's a really good way to start things off. If Magic get 2 out of 3 on this CC side, heading in towards the second half, I might back them for the map. Coming in towards overtime, I would probably still have led MongolZ way. Just finding that first CT round does change things a little bit, and 9-10 also going to get tagged up very low to start off this second round of overtime. Svede, I love the move. Good chance as well it gets overlooked, and he does have Tenzi as support and AW in towards window as that smoke fades.
Yeah, real lack of control here, it feels like. Spade 8 moving round at the perfect time.
Love that.
Able to find that kill, but you've lost control of mid. A is like a question mark. It's fog of war, dangerous. So your only real option is B. And I think that Magic know that as well. So they have bolstered things up over here. Gives a little bit of scope to maybe get aggressive. Masval thinking about it. He's going to be joined up a little bit. They're going to go for the boost, so it's nice and silent. To get across, Masval, business end of an AK, maybe with his name on, but the trade is there. And again, keeping them at bay. 9-10 is tagged down very low in this round, so not looking good. It was on Cobra Zero, and he can't really get anything done. Might be able to take a kill or 2, but in the OT, it does not matter that much. You've got to be converting the rounds, which Magic are doing.
If they can get 2 out of 3 rounds, well, they've done that, and now there's a chance for it to go 3 for 3, which would be wild, because we saw just how good Magic were on their T side. Yes, it's been a long time since then, and things have drastically changed, but I would help. MongolZ going to call for a timeout. You can understand why Mara wants to get on the mic here, though, right? After having such a good T side for the most part, right? You know, it was 8 in a row for them on that T side. To fall so flat here in the overtime, kind of when it matters most. difficult to watch. After a really good response and a fight back, to go out of a whimper in overtime would be damning. Put all that effort into recovering it as well, or for it to not be enough. Let's see, 1 round on the T side, a strong start towards your CT, and those pressures get alleviated. You lose all 3 on your T side though, and for me, Mirage is done.
Pretty dodgy here on the buy as well, which is sort of wild to see. Not something that you do often see.
It's true.
Just up into the window. Yeah, they got their eyes on that. And not necessarily working it out either, but 9-10 comes bursting in. There's aggression all over the place. MongolZ not wasting any time in going for these fights. Cobra moves up to an AK here now in the 3 versus 3. Not loads of utility left for Magic, actually. We do have a couple smokes that could be well placed, but nothing attacking, nothing aggressive to do some damage or force the player out of a position. Crazy that Spade8 gets away with that, but he does.
So bold, that move.
3 versus 2. 9-10. Caught round the corner. The MongolZ are losing it here. Low time on that bomb. Cobra going to try and get into proceedings here. He finds one, but no more coming for him. And Magic with a successful retake to make it 3 in a row. And now 3 rounds, of course. But they can close this one out. MongolZ have their work cut out.
Yeah, they've got to go 3 for 3 themselves. On this CT side, but they only got 3 rounds across the entirety of the half. Magic, obviously the same story for them, hence why we're in OT, but out the gates looked immediately so much stronger than what we saw in regulation. Like we said, it's been a while, but the T side from Magic was really, really good. They've got a nice couple of variations in the tempo and the pace that they like to bring to the table. And the MongolZ struggled to deal with it. They struggled to really read into what they were trying to throw. That's a bold move, and MOUZ gets a freebie on Blitz, who now has to call from the grave.
Yeah, I mean, head loss is what we like to say. MongolZ, I think, might just have indeed overcome or given in to the frustration.
Yeah, like tilted themselves into submission, basically.
Not happening here. Still doable, though, in a 5 versus 4. That smoke doesn't look too good on the mini-map, guys. Could be wrong. I think that's one of those famous roof smokes, maybe. Either way. Yeah,
it is. I thought it was
like well, it's not even a roof smoke. It's just a little. It's like a atmospheric.
Smoke. Yeah.
You know.
And they put dry ice
smoke.
around fake trees to make it look.
Then the villain walks out on stage or whatever. Either way, looking to try and confirm it here. Maybe flustered by the fact that their con smoke has not quite worked out. They'll lose one to begin. Zenio, a little low, does get finished off. It's a big find on Cobra, I feel, gives them the man advantage back. The bomb still has been dropped, 30 seconds left. They seem ultimately unbothered. Techno gets a freebie walking by him, and the next looks so good. A bomb to recover, an AWP to get through, and MongolZ may well have bought themselves enough time to get this just about made it across. Surely trading the years. So we will go again here. A couple more rounds required to take it to another OT.
Baffled that AW doesn't give that a look, right? Doesn't even bother to clear ticket. So gets caught in the back lines, and behind that, Techno then gets a second. AW, if he clears ticket, even if he like finds a bit of damage, like, doesn't get the kill, but like, you know, tags him once, or even if he doesn't even need to tag him, just the information that that's where he is, the player on towards Balk doesn't die. Or probably doesn't even move, to be honest. They just plant and he stays up there. Instead, Techno gets a double on that, flips the script. So MongolZ aren't dead just yet, despite how weird and wonderful it looked. With Masval's antics, it wasn't enough. W sending towards mid. Nothing spotted thus far.
Magic really far away from the action for the time being.
It's quite normal for them from what we've got. Kind of like
of course.
They just like
they fall back on.
Yeah, they are more than happy to do nothing in the first like minute of play.
Yeah. Re-smokes coming in. Same from the CT side. Oh man. Zinio in the danger zone. Another smoke comes round though. They maybe were not expecting that. So really slowed down here, Magic, and they just have to dedicate in towards A. The smoke's starting to dissipate. You know, it's perfect timely. Smoke from Zinio here. He's on the edge as well, waiting for them to burst through. Looking good. Will be traded out, but it's Blitz who's actually standing strong, finding multiple, keeping the dream alive. 20 seconds to get that bomb down is not a lot of time at all. Tagged up 9-10 will fall. 3 versus 2. Doesn't look doable. Moon will just save his AWP, really. As they're getting a taste of their own medicine here, the Mongols looking to take us to another OT.
Yeah, they just leave it way too late again, right? You know, we kind of said it, these late round moves that they're going for, when they work, they're really fun to watch. When they don't work, they're really ugly, and that's what it is there. Moon will just save. That's about as good as he can get. And it will be another one of these situations where it's map point, but it's also simultaneously another OT point. You know, I think it's hard done by not to get a second there. AW is good for the trade, but it's just a numbers game. Really well done from the Mongols. They don't overface, they don't overfight. They wait for the fight to come to them, and they've got the ability, they've got the chops to be able to trade properly. 15-14 Magic. It's still their map point. Mongols are breathing down their necks. 1 round away to take it to a second OT and completely reset things once again.
Yeah, tense stuff, man. Very tense stuff for sure. And like I say, pretty much directly, Magic getting a taste of their own medicine. They are also down onto not an ideal buy, so little things on the econ management for this T side. I suppose it's the lack of bomb plants, really, that does just make an effect, that extra little boost. 9-10. Keen find through that smoke. That might just be all you need at this stage. He's going to find another, in fact. That definitely is all you need, you would say. So by all accounts, should be going again here. Tenzi eats a nade as well. Ooh, they've just seen each other. Passing in the hallway. Tenzi will fall. It is just being hammered home at this point. So looking pretty likely here, folks, that we go again.
Yeah, agreed. Something tells me AW's not got a 1v5 in the locker, I think. He hasn't even got one. Cobra will see it off. It starts with a double from 9-10 that really seals that round, but a very lackluster T side from both sides, which is surprising because in regulation it was the other way. It was the CT sides that were letting them down. Nice work from the Mongols. The pressure doesn't get to them of them being, you know, nothing on offering towards that first half of the OT, and then they have to go flawless themselves. Sometimes that can, I think, really cause teams to struggle a lot, and I think maybe the pressure overwhelms them. The Mongols just don't seem phased. They come in towards it as confident as ever, playing to the level that we expect out from them, and we go once again, Magic. That's now twice you've had opportunity to squander for this side to close out the map.
This is where it can kind of devolve a little bit as well, the Counter-Strike.
For sure.
See if there's anything left for these two teams, or if it is going to be just straight mud brawl. You know, I just always think of that 2 babies fighting meme.
Yeah.
Could very much be the case here, as this one pans out. Great flash. However, Blitz is still alive. He's right there.
Oh my God.
He's right there. AW will find him. Last bullet in the magazine as well to get that done. So biting off a bit more. No. Biting off just enough. And he will keep the round going. Lovely finds. He's chimed in on every single kill, getting the assist on Moon's frag as well. It's going to be 9-10 that remains. And AW will come through with the 4K, slimly missing out on that ace. Magic with a statement as they finally get that T round.
Yeah, really nicely done. It's still so hard to predict as well because it's chopping and changing. There's no consistency. It's like Regulation, both sides immaculate T sides, really lackluster CT sides. OT number 1, both sides immaculate CT sides, no T sides. And then now, Magic start well on their T side after looking so rough. Like, where was that kind of round in the first OT? It's loose, and I think, like you said, it's sort of devolving into a bare knuckle brawl here.
Which is good. I mean, there's still some technicality involved with that, of course, but once in a while, there's, what the hell was that? We cut to this guy, he's inside of smoke, and he just got the kill. Like, what are you talking about?
I also think as well, for bare knuckle brawl, this is a lot more comfortable and a lot more usual for tier 2 teams, because it happens so often. The amount of mixes that you end up facing off against in random online tournaments, where it is just going to be a complete pug fest, compared to, of course, the MongolZ, who are used to, you know, the push and pull of these top level teams, and you know, they will come towards this tournament with at least base level prep for, you know, your Spirits and your MOUZs and your Auroras, Falcons, etc., right? These teams have got unbelievable amounts of depth to them. And Magic are just sort of call it on the fly, and it's working.
Tough here, though. They find the first kill, and they just absolutely want to hammer it home, as they will wind that clock down. Could work against them. Flash comes in. It's unlucky. It's a little tad early. Only by maybe 4 or 5 seconds. They'll start bursting out now. Blitz in a good spot to deal. 9-10 as well. No real stress for him on this long-range angle. Trying to get him to bait out a shot, but just not happening. Will keep them coming. 9-10 looking strong in towards CT. Can't quite see it over the line, but there's not enough time to get that bomb down. He will fall. AW finds 2. It's nice. Goes down after time. That could have an impact as well, mind you, but just not enough time. Magic, despite a 5-on-4, and I think we're definitely just sat there that it's like, this is really overplaying it, guys. Like, just go for that execute. Go for that idea. Use the numbers. But they allow the time to make up for the lack of man advantage. Another enemy that you have to deal with.
Yeah, it can simultaneously be your best friend or your worst foe, really, all right? And I think that's kind of what ends up happening for Magic quite a few times when we're seeing them losing like that. They're trying to utilize it to their advantage, and it works against them. Magic there, though. We spoke about this a bit when it was working, that they're so individually based. Like, they back themselves to win out aim duels, but at times they back themselves too much. And we kind of seen it here. Very quickly, things have crumbled. There's multiple fights taken on multiple fronts. There's no trades. Spacing's poor. There's no one there to be able to kind of to immediately respond, and that is the difference. MongolZ do have that on offer. Zinio goes searching, and AW will drop in, but even still, 2 versus 3 where AW's got 1 foot in the grave.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I was going to say, this is the opposite of the previous round, where it's like they go too fast rather than too slow. Trying to put a quick fix on this one, but all of a sudden, opportunities have presented themselves. They have capitalized.
Look at this minimap, man. This is
know,
so weird.
Insane game state.
This is such a... There is 4 individuals here. Neither of them are playing together. And there's 4 opportunities for 4 different fights to happen depending on who moves first.
But a lesson learned from earlier rounds in that they will join together before they get that bomb moving.
That's smart.
They are therefore able to trade things out. If push comes to shove, Techno, unlikely angle, could really play this well. He's heard them both. Oh! And the leg against the orb. Great finds from him, as they will just squeak out the lead, but well done in that round. Likely to win it. It's that one in the middle that they were kind of unlikely to win, and yet they managed to get. And that's really, really going to suck, I think, for the Magic side of things, that you just can't get the rounds that you're expected, that you know you can convert, and it will get into your head. Fatigue sets in, annoyance sets in, emotions running rampant, and it is a lot. This is the time where the good, the great, the legacy teams are really split down the middle. So we'll see here a timeout coming in from MongolZ, despite being in the lead here.
Yeah.
They absolutely respect their opponent now and want to get this closed out.
And I love it, right? I feel like, you know, this is something that we talk about a hell of a lot, especially when we do these B streams, where we're kind of talking about, you see a lot, especially within the tier 2, where basically all timeouts are from kind of positions of weakness, really. You know, we are struggling, therefore we need to call a timeout to try and ice them out. The difference when you start moving into more...
Also like proper weakness, you know, like, oh, they evened it up to 10-10, even though we were 10-4 ahead or whatever.
Exactly, and I think the difference is you see at the tier 1 level, even at the tier 1.5, the amount of times you see teams do it from positions of strength, trying to shore up the spot they're in. It's nice to see, but what will they do with it? They found this first round of OT absolutely changed things. 18-16, that pressure surely then gets to Magic. Here's a case of can they? Teknobi spoke out as he's moving slowly but surely through the B apps. The Mongols aren't committed.
Pretty nervy here. Pushing towards the palace. It's not going to give you full information, but it gives you bits. Got to keep that going. Got to confirm whether they're in towards ramp or not. But as they go a bit further, they'll start to shore up their position on B. Look at this, though, Cobra0. What is he getting away with all the way down short, and really could do something with this. Flash comes in. That might give him away a little bit, but he will start the ball rolling.
Oh, into that.
Missed shots, getting caught in the open, potentially. Or are they? Moon covered from behind. Masval keeps the kills coming, and he's also got some support to work with, but Blitz now going to start to activate. So many different angles to check. A bomb to recover as well. It's not looking good. All going to be down to Cobra0 here, who was the first part of this attack. He's just not been able to really deliver, and the flankers behind him to see it off. Magic with a great round to find, despite a real lack of control and idea of what was going on. They respond very well.
And the question is now, can either of these sides go back to back? Can they get 2 on the bounce? Because Magic have tied it up 17 apiece. The magic number we're looking for is 19. We need a bit of consistency, which has eluded both of these sides all the way throughout. Yes, in regulation there was those nice streaks, but into OT it's been very chop and changey and really kind of flipping all the time. It's so hard to sit here and make a prediction about where this one's going to swing. But it's really important that Magic did tie this game up. I think if MongolZ hit 18, I think the pressure would have got to them. There's too much weight on the shoulders. Flash to mid, Cobra, giving this control. There's no response from Magic, which is information into itself that no one's here. But now they're going to go find out where are they.
Yeah, but I think the thing is as well, you've got to remember MongolZ took a timeout before coming into this T half. They opt to hit B, which has actually not seen a lot of attention. It doesn't on this map, but it really feels like it's been the unlikely bomb site most of the time. Blitz going to take a heavy tag, maybe through a smoke, but they're B hit. They are feeling confident in. Moon moves fast. Takes down one. Blitz finished off as well through the smoke, so bomb going to go down, but at what cost? Mazinho's incredibly low as well. Really need a hero to step up here for the MongolZ, and it's just not happening. 9-10 in the clutch against 3. They're all coming in from the same angle. It really is doable. He's heard the first, he finds the second, but bit too far around that corner. Magic will take 18. They are set to absolutely get this one over the line now, in my opinion.
They made life too easy for Moon there. 4 different 1v1s for him when no one trades. And I know he had a support from a rifle into his door, but life's been made very easy for Moon to isolate there, and that's what we want to see coming through. 18-17, 2 on the bounce. Start off this half, 1 more to see it off for Magic. Yeah, Moon's done very, very well. He's had moments of being... Yeah, he's had moments of being a little bit quiet, and this is the thing I spoke about coming in towards this game. The problem with Moon is ceiling's so high, but he's inconsistent, and he goes missing at times. And then we have seen him go missing, but not there. This is bold. Double push in towards Palace, and it works against Magic, but Moon, he's still here causing issues, but he doesn't expect Blitz.
2 remaining for the CT side to see this one off at this point. Yeah, he's lacking a gun. Just managed to make it through the murder hole in towards jungle though, so that could be beneficial for him in times to come. Maybe not though. He's left all alone. He's going to get his hand onto an AWP here. Does manage to find one. Crazy clutch required. He's got a smoke. He's got like no information to work with though. A hop, skip and a jump to assume there's one in towards that ramp area, but 2 feels unlikely, and down he will go. We go again. The 3rd overtime going to be needed here.
We're making up for it, really, after the 13-1.
I didn't know how good we had it.
How good we had it.
Yeah.
PGL getting the money's worth right now.
For sure, really, for sure.
With this triple OT. But this is kind of, I think, also outside of kind of all the points that we've spoken about, like, just credit to Magic. Like, you know, it was the narrative that we brought in for Fisher College saying, like, I'd like to see them make a map competitive, right? To take a series feels unlikely. And Magic are a similar-ish vein in the sense that I think they're a bit more, well, definitely a stronger dark horse, but, like, they've made a map competitive against a top-level side. And yes, there's the MongolZ side that are struggling a bit this year, but ultimately it's still pretty important. Splits, open things up, but Tenzi's there for one. 9-10, quick on the trade, the back and forth, the push and pull. There's 9-10 who goes back to back, that gives the advantage. And Magic are left all on the shoulders of Maswell and Tenzi, the 2 stars that are highlighted.
Yeah, incredible pace from the MongolZ. Great to use it in a round like this when it's like right at the kickoff of the OT, so you still have time and space to recover things. Still got to see it over the line, though. And never a done deal in this game, it would seem.
Oh, absolutely.
Taking their time to get that bomb over to A.
No round is confirmed until it's on the scoreboard itself, because the amount of times it's fallen apart right at those last seconds. Tenzi's got a good read here. Oh, so I say. He's going to play up towards top con. Doesn't want to play on the site itself, and Maswell catches Blitz lurking, however. Smoke down, plant inside of it. Tenzi can't deny, and the question is, does he wait for support, or does he go a little early? His barrel's been spotted towards top stairs. They know about him. They also technically know about Maswell. It's just a question of where does he rotate in from.
Not an easy one to answer at this stage. Smoke goes down, flash on the back of it. Try and get the body block in here, and I think they're just going to go for the ninja, really. It's good timing with the flash and whatnot. A break onto the smoke, though. Surely he goes down. It's a little close, but they see it over the line. MongolZ have done well, staying calm in those post-plant positions where, you know, it feels like ultimately they are the ones that have the most to lose. 19 coming in here. It's hard to follow. First to 22, of course. For maybe those of you who are listeners rather than watchers.
Here for the CS podcast of
well, you know,
MongolZ Magic.
People be working and stuff.
Yeah.
You don't want your boss to know.
A little bit of second monitor action.
Yeah,
I can get behind it.
But you might not be so lucky, you know? Might only have one.
Yeah, that's it. You have to tab in and out.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of us. Blitz. Nice way to start things. He just catches MOUZ off guard. Again, this is the thing the MongolZ are throwing in. A couple of slightly pacier starts that are around, and Magic are getting caught, pants around their ankles a little bit, half asleep, however you want to put it. They're a little bit shocked by some of these moves that the MongolZ are making, because it's not the team, it's just a random individual here or there.
Oh, that's a good find, though. Felt like Blitz had the drop. Speaking of drops, the boost in towards ladder. Super effective. Still all to play for, though. Tenzi going to go down. Mazzinho with a wild move out and throw of the Molotov. Full sell. Have they bought it? Masval looks very ready to be here. He's got support over here as well to bounce off of. 9-10 dealt with. Magic, you said kind of dejected, but they are gifted one there.
Yeah. Didn't start well, but the response is great. This is such a weird game state that we're in, though. Because, you know, we're getting to the point where it's pretty safe to make the assumption that both sides have ran out of the strat book. Like, for The captains on both respective sides. At this point, everything is mid-rounding. Like, it's maybe reacting to, they did this in this last round, or, you know, this is maybe a tendency of theirs, but fundamentally, there's going to be very little in terms of, like, calling out a spawn, like, this is the round we want. It's more like, let's default and react, and that's how both sides are playing right now, which is why we're seeing so many information plays. So many times where they're going to go send somebody looking. Blitz often likes to do it himself, which is very common for IGLs. You know, people like Karrigan like to do it as well, where you send yourself in towards the fight, you get one, maybe get traded, but you get a bit of an information of like, this is what their setup's looking like. This is the numbers I've sort of gathered by the util thrown, by the fights I've taken. This is what we should do. And that's kind of what we're getting here. It's very loose. It's very kind of funny in its own way, right? Because nothing is kind of going to plan. It's how good are you at reacting to it. With all tied square, 19 apiece. Missed jump. Initial thing that doesn't go to plan. What does Moon now do to try and change it up? It looks like he might go for the short angle.
Smoke towards the palace. Just one over here for MongolZ, as they're trying to keep themselves together. Really great start into this particular bout of the OT, but it's not quite panned out as planned. So it feels like a very, very key round here to just be that team in the ascendancy. Resmokes into the window. It's going to be a B hit once again for the MongolZ. Seems like they are enjoying this B bomb site in the overtime. Moon, however, on this AWP is here, is looking good. And it is predictable. Molotov is clean. Moon goes down. Masval got to be careful. They hear the molly ticking. They think he's way closer, I guess, and he's able to come away with 3. A misread of the info and the noise. And they go bursting through the smoke as well. MongolZ have handed him that 3K.
And he has a little inspect in there as well, just to flex on us a little bit. Like, peep the skin. Boom, there's the 3rd kill. You love to see it.
So you've got to be careful with that inspect. You get it moved away, you know?
Yeah.
It's still on F as you're like pressing D, I think.
Yeah, look, inspect,
yeah, it's
bang.
as he's moving to the side.
Do you know as well, it used to be a thing. Yeah, they're loving it. It used to be a thing that back on Go, I was one of the people who did the same thing. I, for a period, had it on clear decals on inspect as well.
Right, okay.
Very, very common from the pro scene, where a lot of people had it on sort of clear decals. I remember, I was like, I swear it was somebody on, I want to say maybe like Afro or something, but somebody on like Double Pony, I'm pretty sure, had like, somebody did a stat like how much they're inspecting in games, and theirs was crazy, and everyone was like, what is this guy doing? Like, you know, what, and he just came out with like, yeah, it's my clear decals. Like, that's why. But it's something I did for a while, but no excuse anymore. That's just, you know, you got to move it away.
I feel like it's just unbind it for a pro game, honestly.
Yeah. There's a few you just don't need.
A lot faster here from Magic. Will execute straight in. Mazzinho at the back end of triple, though. Feels like he's in a good spot to take many fights. Con coming slow. Is it going to be needed even? I think he's just gone down there as well. They will find the trade on the site players. But still looking good for the MongolZ as they've got that man advantage. They've got plenty of information to now work from. HP advantage as well to boot. AW moves across. He's been heard, but he still finds success. And he still gets away. 35 seconds. I don't think you necessarily have the time to be shifting to B. 9-10 goes looking. Molotov to split them up, slow them down, force them to move in. Nearly for Masval. It's all going to be on AW here as he has been the hero to bail them out, looking for some higher ground, struggling to get there. Thankfully, 9-10 nowhere near, and AW gets that headshot. 9-10 swaps up to the M4, but it is not enough. Absolutely wild stuff as AW finds a crazy kill.
Wow.
A crazy clutch. Now looking down the barrel of the map itself.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That shot.
And that's what he was going for that higher ground. He predicted jungle, and he was like, this is the angle I'm looking for.
I see the reaction.
Brilliant.
Map point again to Magic. They've had multiple of these, and they've squandered all of them. Is this finally going to be the one? It starts well. Tenzi will open up proceedings as Techno goes down. Cobra takes a hell of a lot of damage as well in towards B-Ab, so he buys trained on this, but Moon will fall to the hands of Blitz, and still that response. MongolZ aren't done just yet.
Oh,
perfect
wow.
nade.
Yeah,
as he's jumping up.
Max damage pretty much. And then he bails on the idea of going in. I think that's fair enough. Cobra Zero with the AWP here. Aggressive angle for him. He is losing his teammate, though, as they maybe start to think more and more about the A-bomb site in this case. So Magic saving their B hit for a rainy day. I think it might just have worked out for them as well.
Bogdan's low there as well.
Yeah, he's going to be comfortable in theory. Still finds the kill. Drops back and now has to play it quite well. Molotov will buy time for those supporting elements to come into play. The cavalry arriving, and it could get very messy in here. Cobra Zero keeps it coming. They feed the AWP. It's all going to be down to AW. Another clutch required from him to close out the map. This one would be even crazier, but Cobra gets him done. Flexing onto that AWP, and you can see why.
Yeah, they just don't capitalize on the advantage there. That's really quite poor from Magic. Like, you get the opener, you feel like you're in a decent little spot there as well. You've got good amounts of information, and then it just falls so flat, which has been so common. This is what Magic are doing, and it's happened so many times. They hit map point, and they crumble. And this is a point that we've been trying to bring into our cast a little bit. We got kind of taught it by a producer that we worked with, called the hair effect, right? And this is it. It is one of those things. You're in a position of kind of strength. You're right at the finish line, and you can't see it over the line, whether it's nerves or overconfidence, being overzealous in terms of how you approach some of these rounds. Whatever it may be, it affects the Tier 2 sides much more than it affects Tier 1 teams. And unfortunately, this is what's happened to Magic right now, and it's happened a few times in this map. They get to map point, and they just can't see it over the line.
Well, here we go. I mean, all to play for. As, you know, you flip that coin again if you go to another overtime. Who knows what to expect. And fatigue seriously starting to set in, right? I think you just need a moment to stand up, if nothing else. It is not looking likely. Cobra Zero to open us up. Magic maybe need to change their name, as they are really not delivering the unbelievable. Might just be going here again. 5 versus 4. Not all doom and gloom, though. Certainly could do something with this. And Spade 8 with the right idea. Molotov comes in. Blitz forced into an awkward spot. Will go down just about. It's still close. They've evened it back up now with about 50 seconds left on that clock.
Massol's lurks had really good efficiency, and there it is, bounces again, but immediate trade on Massini, yo, head on a swivel from him. Leaves it all down to Spade 8. He's hurt as well. He's a known quantity. Missed shots. Can he punish? Yes. 30 seconds or just about. 1 versus 2. Captain Fantastic requires a quad kill in this one. Bomb can be recovered, but where is this second man? Now he knows. I don't think it's going to make a difference. And it's the MongolZ who tie it up again. If it's Magic who hit map point, you can write it off that we're going to another OT. For the MongolZ, that's where there's an opportunity. But Magic, the second they get to a position of advantage, they just crumble. And this has happened so many times now. They're so good at fighting when it isn't the pressure of closing out rounds. But you see they're like, it's some nice rounds, some nice moves. They get to 21. I'm like, this is sick from Magic. And then the second they hit map point, they are a completely different team. Like those last 2 rounds, they were just 5 different guys running around and hoping that they get multi-kills.
It is true. And we are now looking to the opposite side. The MongolZ trying to see this one over. And like I say, all these emotional battles, trying to stay cool, high highs, low lows. You know, we had a crazy Magic clutch to, I suppose, ultimately keep them in it in the long run. But can they keep that going?
Nice nade.
Same for the MongolZ. You just feel like they would perhaps have cooler heads prevailing here. Blitz in the window. Now boosting into him. They've got to be very, very careful.
Ooh, Swede, he's holding it.
Yeah, he's waiting for it, and he will indeed find the kill. Blitz not able to get his crosshair there fast enough. Suddenly, you've got a player in the back lines that could be very, very problematic. Cobra Zero on this secondary orb has really started to deliver for the MongolZ. 9-10 on the primary, also able to keep his name in the hat. Zinio perhaps seeing it over the line here. AW is low. He does get a couple. Surely not long for this world.
No.
He says. AW with another clutch on the cards. Techno, though, is just coming in from the least expected angle, it would seem. Maybe spotting his barrel there. Yeah, confirming that he's still up there. Will easily take him down. That's unlucky for AW, but the MongolZ going to get it.
Yeah, not a bad effort. It's just the fact that his barrel betrays him. AW is hoping it goes for the standard rotate. Coming in through CT, and he might have a bit of a sort of a head glitch angle, sort of what we saw him do with that top wood position, fighting towards jungle a ways ago now.
Counter-terrorists win.
MongolZ draw first blood in this new batch of overtime. This time, first 25. The game that never ends here.
I hope not. For my sanity. We're right at the brink of it, I think. And I do feel another overtime after this. Maybe this one as well. It surely just has to get crazy, you know? It surely just has to be through the kitchen sink at these rounds.
Well,
the big change up for the MongolZ is, you know, the double up setup, right?
It's going huge. Cobra
beyond
so
that,
comfy.
what else have you got?
I will say, you know, it's a long game, but we're not at like Nip Amcal vibes. You know what I mean? Like that was scrappy and weird. This still has,
I think,
a bit of rhyme and reason behind it.
Yeah. And Mirage is a map that players are sort of going to enjoy.
Yeah.
Feel natural. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever get anything like that again. Obviously,
Say unfortunately, I say fortunately.
Well, yeah, that is true. But it's Vertigo.
Yeah.
You don't like playing Vertigo, and then you got the crazy overtimes on that map. But here, the counter-strike keeps coming, and it looks pretty clean. Even trades across the board, back and forth and back and forth. It's AW again, though, who is the player to find the unlikely kills. Techno teaching him a lesson, leaving it all down to Masval. Quick find for the 1 versus 1 now. Comes in, going to be put in an awkward spot, and Masval sees him off. Some great 1v1 angles from this Magic side, as they are looking more and more legit, despite how tense these rounds are getting.
Yeah, it's really nice from Masval. Really, really nice. So we're tied, 22 apiece. Final round of this. Half can go a hell of a long way. Bit of breathing room would be lovely for either side. Let's see. Just a pistol for Techno. I'm keeping an eye on that. And
Yeah, really getting to them here. We are
Yeah.
on 10K.
But also, I was also just to mention, Utah's a little limited. They got 1 kit. If Mazzino dies somewhere weird, that's going to be a really rough recovery. So just keep an eye on that. Mazzino's got the only kit. Techno's not got a gun.
Yeah, number 3 on your mini-map. I also have to say I'm happy we're keeping, as a commentator, the numbers. We've seen this thing in like
With the
tier 2
faces?
with the faces. It's
Yeah.
a bit,
And just even
you know,
worse,
what is this,
sometimes you get the
mini-map
faces.
for ants, you know?
The faces where they don't have a picture,
Yeah,
so they don't have
yeah.
a HLTV picture, and then we're just looking at it just like, wow.
But in a way, that's
then?
easier. If you've got 2 players that look similar,
Oh, yeah.
one's flanking or whatever, I'm not quite sure who to call out and be like, yep,
Yeah.
you know, AW's flanking or something like that. Either way, just getting that out there into the ether, maybe go back to numbers, as it's a bit easier. Blitz. Double spray down for him. Ooh. Going through the motions here on the MongolZ side. That bomb has spilled at their feet. Spade, yeah, look, it's a good lurking position. 9-10 also. Yeah, he's found himself into a good one, but it's low time is what I was going to be getting at. It will deal with him in good time. Techno finding 2 on that 5-7. One at range, one up close. MongolZ workable, but I don't want to really put all my chips in, man. Like I don't know what to say. It could still continue. It could flip back towards Magic. You just don't know what to expect when we're this deep into a map.
No, it's true, but I do feel like it's so much easier to back the MongolZ to close out a map than Magic to close out a map right now, just because of how many times Magic have squandered it.
That's fair. No, that's a fair point, though.
Just mainly because of that. I just feel like the amount of times we've seen Magic hit map point and they've just turned into a different team. But at least for the MongolZ, the levels kept the same. So a bit more of like a barometer of what to expect out from them. Ooh. There is a player Delpan. How quick is the flick from Moon? If Cobra pokes his shoulder around the corner, he's not moving at all. And there it is. It's labored, but it'll get there in the end. Moon couldn't flick to find. So Cobra will open up proceedings. Man advantage. The MongolZ in a situation we're coming in towards the half. Round advantage as well.
Yep. And these are the rounds you have to convert at this stage of the game. They're going to have spotted, a couple, tempting them in. And indeed, nice MongolZ will eat. Masval going to be the only one left. 1 versus 4. He will give it a look here. But the MongolZ hitting that map point in what could be heartbreaking fashion here. Magic, do they have it in them? Do they have the spirit to get the 2 in a row, take us to another overtime? That's not what they wanted. I think they wanted to even things up before letting it get to 24. Yeah. It's going to be tough to string it together. It's a lot to ask of, like, you know, on a physical level, man.
Yeah.
Been sat for so long and not quite used to the chair, not quite used to the setup. Going to make a big old difference to remaining comfortable here. So 2 in a row required. MongolZ just need to see this over the line now.
Alrighty. 2 in a row. Magic were in a similar spot. Previous OT squandered it. MongolZ do one better, or are they going to join them in that ranks of this inabilities to close maps? In this map that'll never end, it feels very tentative. Magic are not doing anything too audacious. They've learned a few of their lessons, but I think also maybe, again, that like pressure of this situation. You kind of spoke about it a little bit earlier. You just don't want to be that first domino to drop.
Yeah. MongolZ leaning B. Not sure how fond of this I am. It feels like the B bomb site is just messy for both teams, really, but trying to make it work. Smoke, kind of an RNG game there. They get the nade down as well, misses the timing on it. They will manage to just get that play across. It might be communicated to the B players, but not in good enough time. Cobra Zero with a nice find. Masval goes down easily. Still got Fade 8 here, and despite all that, is he able to hold it? I thought surely he'd get traded. He does eventually, but not before the damage comes in. 9-10 caught. The bomb hitting the deck, and it's all going to be on to Blitz. The captain to clutch.
25.
A bomb to recover. And he's missing info on one player here, isn't he? Crosses in and finds the kill on Moon. Caught sleeping. Tenzi not so much. And Magic keep the dream alive. It is the hope that dies last.
Yeah, that is a sigh of relief from Magic. My, oh my, that was dicey. And despite the initial setup being right, that nearly falls apart. A couple of nice shots, and even 9-10 giving them a bit of life. Blitz right at that tail end, but not to be. MongolZ call for a timeout. Again, of course, every overtime you get an extra timeout you can utilize, but Amara's taking good use of them. Really trying to get, you know, himself, Blitz, Techno, all kind of guys who would be voices in this side, quite vocal. What are the ideas we can drum up? One or two ways it goes now. MongolZ close out the map, or we go again. Which at this point, we're very close to being in for a penny, in for a pound.
Something different, though. Getting straight up short here, not wasting any time. Completely against the norm, and it might just work out for them as well. See what their general defense is. Are they still awake? Are they still in the game?
A's open.
The answer might be no. Indeed, they didn't even dedicate all their resources into that, so they will find the A-bomb site. They will leave MassVal in the clutch, and another miracle round going to be needed here. This time you say, surely not. How many of them can Magic actually pluck out of thin air? MassVal, one to watch, but can he get this done? Hardly any time. Doesn't have a kit as well. He's got to recover one of those from somewhere, if there even is one. In good proximity. He will fall in the end. And the Mongols manage to take it. Goodness me, it is hard fought, but they will take it over the line. And of course, I mentioned it for a while because it maybe didn't feel like it, the pick of Magic. So,
yeah,
you know, really going to be quite a boon for that side. They all have the headsets on, high fives and whatnot. Looking and feeling good.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. Really going to be telling. But I do also feel like Mongols have to get this cleaned up in a 2-0. That first map does come too close when you're looking at the grander context. This is a team that we would put in that conversation. Maybe, you know, alongside someone like G2, where it's like they could be winning. Are they necessarily the front runners? No, but they could win this tournament. So you have to be able to get through a team like Magic without too many problems. So 2-0 would be a great way to indeed make that statement. We've kicked off with a bit of early damage in the banana, but not too much to write home about just yet.
Yeah, decoy as well and towards half wall. Cheeky little trick, but just to check if anybody is, well, tucked up close. They're not. All 5 are heading towards banana, but there's 3 on that CT side, ready to meet them in towards B as they dive on through. They're taking that control as well in towards CT. Mazinho and 910 get the trades back on from AW. MassVal and 910 will find Spade as well. Numbers advantage, bomb goes down. This is a great spot to be in as Mazinho gets another. They know where Moon is as well because of the pop shots he was taking. This is done. 1 versus 3. He has no chance.
Yeah, and so well found. You see on the kill feed 2 CT kills come in really fast as they start to hit B. You're like, that kind of should be enough, you know? Like that feels like such an advantage. You got rotation, you got flank. But Mongols, as they often do, just able to keep that resilience, able to find the rest of the kills. And they look very good while doing so. Great pistol to just pick up where he left off. And a turnaround from the first map in the sense that they're maybe able now to be the team that is that driving force, which they lacked on Mirage. They had to get back into it. They had to play on the back foot. And you saw what happened. I think if it was, to begin with, more like a 7-5 or an 8-4 even, there probably is no overtime, actually. So, yeah, just giving themselves some more early room on Inferno.
Oh! What a shot from Moon. See you next round, Techno. That is a crazy shot. Need a couple more of them to maybe bail them out of this round, just financially speaking. Of course, they couldn't bring lows to the table. They'll get tested again, and it's a risk. They're swinging in towards his site. They're trying to put pressure on towards the scout. That first shot was nice from Moon, but how will he deal when he has to slightly shotgun scout a little bit? You see the panic sets in. They know that they can capitalize upon his face. And a flying Mac 10 from Mazinho. They'll all but secure the site and basically the round with it.
Yeah, they were chased through the smoke a little, but they make it through relatively unscathed, get that bomb down, forcing the save out from the remaining Magic boys. As they will try and work from here. Should be able to save into the next one and you know, make it a little bit risky. Mac 10 picked up, so
you take those.
An upgraded pistol for somebody. So it's not going to be too bad of an on-paper defense.
Oh, hang on.
Or maybe even better if he can get his hands onto a rifle. Was he seen there? Don't think so.
Maybe not. He also has a good amount of Utah in his back pocket too.
Terrorists win.
Oh, okay, a little dicey. I was wondering whether he actually gets checked.
An overstep.
There's somebody going to swing in towards him, or is he going to get a little bit giddy for the fight? But not to be. So, a Mac-10, like you mentioned, upgraded pistol can be dropped across as well. So it's a second attempt at the force buy here. for Magic, but it is a 2-0 start. It should be a 3-0 for the Mongols. And then it makes the next gun round very important for obviously for Magic to kickstart things, but it's a bonus buy for the Mongols. So it's not even a necessity to win it. It's more a case of can we make it expensive because we keep them financially under a lot of pressure the way we've got them now. As long as Mongols make this round relatively clean, 2 casualties max, they'll be chilling.
Yeah, start focusing on that rifle round, and if you win that one, all of a sudden you've probably got yourself up to like 5-0.
Yeah.
It's only 1 or 2 good, clean rifle rounds that they're going to need to make this half look one-sided.
A lot of util. Top banana control. I like the idea by AW, but unfortunately, the execution just not quite there. Downhill 4. They're trying to capitalize with re-aggression, but it's just not going to plan. Cobra will find Moon, and in doing so, 5 versus 3 ensues. You assume as well now from a spot like this that it should be absolutely impossible to squander. 5 versus 3, they've got the better firepower, and they do the due diligence as they clear the corners. Down goes Tenzi. That's the A site open for the taking. The remaining 2, Spade and Asphalt. There's a decision to be made here. I would actually not be going to fight, despite maybe having the rebuys in towards the next round, just because you know there's at least a Mac 10 running around. You don't know how many Mac 10s. I just don't think you want to give kill bonus away. There you go.
Well, indeed, it's kill bonus that goes the way of Masval. We'll take another one down, though, on that T side. This is one of the things, though, in the grander context, as things start to look good for the Mongols. You've had a great first map. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's very back and forth. You could have won it. You could have taken it. You've given them a lot to work with in terms of rounds. You've shown some of your immediate weaknesses, but you've also woken the Mongols up. That's maybe not quite what you wanted from Magic, in the sense that it's like they have to respect you now. They have to play a slightly more disciplined game than perhaps they were expecting. You know, you look at this on the schedule, on the early matchup that you're given by PGL and whatnot, and you're like, well, Magic, who are they really? You know, it can be easy to overlook them, and Mongols very nearly did that. G2 didn't do it earlier in their matchup, but Mongols very nearly did on that first map. But yeah, this is the knock-on effect now, is that the Mongols seem to have really woken up. Some big nade damage, though, to kick off this round, so how awake are they really? We're about to find out.
Okay. Well, 3 towards B for Magic. It's loosely where the bomb feels like it wants to head. There's a minute on the clock, so they can cancel and reassess the situation, but the way they're setting up, and especially the way they're posturing, they might just commit here off the back of the util. Nade. Nicely placed. Techno and 9-10. And even Cobra taking sizable amounts of damage to tags and HEs. Re-smoke as well, front sight. I think with the util coming their way, I'd be tempted by a cancel here, but they're trying to commit through this smoke. This could be really dicey, but in NACOM, Molotov will force Fade out at the very least. He's now in the open in no man's land, but they're going to call upon him. Hang on a second, AW's doing it all alone. He goes for 4, and it's all on the shoulders of 9-10 as AWP, as AW gets all 5. That is monstrous from him. Locks down the B site, and the Mongols are left reeling.
Honestly, you see that smoke come in on the choke? I think it's a save. Not even a cancel. I don't know that they necessarily would have had the time to set up for A, but it's not the Mongols' way. What do we say? Live by the sword, die by the sword. And they most certainly died. AW capitalizes. Wonderful round for him, and a big old morale boost.
Yeah.
As they find that first rifle round, Mongols. Yeah, it sucks, but I think you have to take the save as that smoke comes in.
I agree.
And they will, of course, you know, be wishing that they'd done that. Nonetheless, they still have the cash available to buy back up. Thankfully, well, it could have been heard by one of the short players.
Yeah.
Silent boost. Not so silent.
The thing is, no one wants to save in a spot like that because I think it looks bad. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, and it's early on in the game.
Yeah.
You know, you can still take some risks.
But it's one of those, I feel like, you know, for any person, you feel like it's maybe like an ego thing. Like, oh, I can't.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? I can't be doing that.
It just depends on what's in your DNA as a team. Are you aggressive? Are you savers? Lovely little contact move going in here. Tenzi will get one, as does Masval, but they're both traded out quite quickly.
This is a lot better. Real punchy round that comes through. Oh, 2 versus 3 in this post bomb. Heading towards Library. A Moto Smoke with a sizable gap on that left-hand side. Is Fede going to try and utilize it? And he nearly does. It's dicey, but he's been spammed down. Single-digit HP for him. So I feel like Spade 8 and AW might just call this one off. A save for them, which is Inferno through and through. And the Mongols get a nice response to once again shore up this lead to a 3-round advantage.
Yeah, just absolutely perfect on the response, isn't it? To be honest with you, they switch things up, but still able to play to their code.
Yeah.
Terrorists win.
Contact flashes. So magic. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? That's worst case scenario. Only 2 players saving. Now you are in a position of like, okay, I guess we have to buy, but you're going to spend a lot of money to do so. Really puts a lot of weight on this next round. Your 4-1 could be 5-1, then you're ecoing, you know, so it really is tough. It's nice to be in a position where it's like, okay, we've strung them together, we've closed the gap, and we're making them sweat. MongolZ go, maybe we shouldn't have rushed that smoke in 25 seconds. Let's just move on, whatever. And it's not really all that deep, but if you string 2 together, it's like, ooh, maybe they've figured us out. We have to change things up in a big way. Pull out one of our more secretive rounds. Nice nade damage on both sides. Oh, AW lucky to be alive. Will be finished off easily, even by a blinded up Blitz. And they want to stick around. I thought they would back off after finding man advantage, but no, Blitz wants a bit more. A bigger piece of the pie, and indeed he will get it. So clean advantage now for this T side.
I like this. Re-aggression from MOUZ. Starting to make a little bit of a move. It's Cobra, open up things in towards short. Tenzi drops, but the question is, do they know about MOUZ? Can they actually get in the back lines? And to be honest, is it going to make a difference?
They're just shooting a lot better here, the MongolZ, it feels like. MOUZ will manage to find one of the key kills. One more, and maybe we start to believe, but it's still directly a 3 versus 1 on this B bomb site. Does not feel like enough around that fountain. It's a difficult spot to make work. I think it's really good if you've got a teammate to work around, but he doesn't, of course. Lots of damage, but no kills. And it will be on Mr. Moon. They know about him vaguely. Know that he's probably not anywhere near that B-bomb site. Cobra Zero looking for him and might just find him here on the timing. No, not going to be the case. At least confirms that the round is absolutely theirs.
Upgrades to an AK. I wonder whether he gets given the luxury of keeping it alive, because you can see they're already making a move to suffocate him. And there's still enough time on that C4 that they can get towards a position of fighting here. Ooh, let's see. Yeah, it looks like he'll be okay. They were wrapping him. But he just sticks around the A side itself. The MongolZ, they are looking pretty clean at the moment, though. This T side looking kind of nice, but this has been the narrative for this series. You know, you look back towards map number 1, and it was wild and wacky, but it was kind of all about the T sides. It's where both sides got 9 rounds on. So this is sort of par for the course, at least at the moment. I guess the real ask for me is, do we get a slightly cleaner CT side out from the MongolZ? We know Magic are going to have a few tricks up their sleeve here and there, as we saw in towards Mirage. And MongolZ, they struggled to deal with them. So this for me feels like, at the moment, yes, it's really good for the MongolZ, but this is sort of what we have come to expect from this series. Both sides look a lot more comfortable on their T side. And Magic, they were so lackluster plenty of times on the CT that I'm not actually too alarmed just yet.
Longer wait to get back into things. Magic actually down the middle, so somewhat uncharacteristic passive choice. Some might say smart. But we'll see what they've got up their sleeve on this one. They do have heavy nade presence. Oh, I think, not sure if it was a T or a CT one that blew that open. They will manage to trade it back, though, as things are kept now in favor of Magic.
Okay.
With a crazy find. Cobra Zero is on 23 HP, so pretty damn good look for the CT side. The one big problem is they've got all their resources over on A. They're trying to deal with that as Moon has moved through the smoke here to try and get this flank going. Mizzinho is watching for it. All going to be on the timing here, and Mizzinho takes him down.
Smart.
Not sure if there was a little shadow or leg spotted. But of course, this B bomb site, even with low buy and whatnot, is a hard one to crack. Plenty of smokes coming in to just slow down that T side and make them second guess.
And they've got the time to do this as well. 55 seconds on the clock. They are moving back to A. There's two players here. This could still be a little dicey. Xeno leading the charge. He's got the HP to work with, him and 910. Does Tenzi even get cleared into his boiler? The timing is pretty
He's
mad.
off down mid. Yeah, he's guessed completely wrong. Maybe the entire team at large. 5-7 always dangerous at that range, but not able to deliver here. AW will give it another go.
Yeah, and I just think, I mean, kind of do you even give it a go? I think if I'm him, I'm not even looking towards the site. Is there a gun I can just scoop up, right? Is there anything down for me? I don't know that there is. There's a lot of bodies, a lot of corpses around.
Yeah, but I think so many nades going off, they might have all just been like blasted
That's
away.
what I mean, yeah, they're like random parts of the map.
Yeah.
He'll get flanked out by 910 and AW will end up falling. He was actually giving it a look in, but didn't have
They're
a
buying
kit.
anyway. If it's not an AK, that's kind of the only thing, you know, can't buy AK Classic, of course.
Exactly. Didn't have a kit. He, you know, didn't have really anything like to lose in a sense. So you're like, why not, right? And in a kind of like quote unquote kind of best case scenario sort of thing, like let's say assuming he doesn't win the round, he might still go 1-for-1, which makes it even more expensive, right?
Yeah.
So I don't even hate the idea about having a look there, but doesn't pay off. Is what it is. MongolZ win a round that they should be winning because of that lesser buy. This is the important one. Another rebuy for Magic. It has to work. They don't find this one here, and we're getting into a real troublesome territory.
Early utility out. Just try and force a response, really. Hard to tell. Looks like the bomb wants to lean towards A. That's where they're going to try and create their first kill, but nothing really coming, and it can be dangerous. You show early presence. As you see, there's a 4-man rotation over. They've got banana control as well. So actually, pretty good game state for Magic, I was going to say. Smoke's not the end of the world. Still kind of does its job, but
You've smoked banana, but it's more shallow, basically.
yeah. Okay, guys, I'm just giving up the banana control. Yep.
Job done, but not the strongest.
They smoke me off, guys.
Yeah. My favorite when you team flash. Ah, yeah, they flash.
Yeah. But now we know. Do you know what I mean? It's harder to get away with it.
Moon. You'll find one. Nice little double setup here. The crossfire is pretty solid. There's Fade 8. Will drop blitz. Tekno's got contact, and now he's starting to rev up the pace a little bit as he's diving through towards his deep side. He clears the close corner. The crossfire again on the side here is so difficult to deal with. A player in towards Coffins, a player who was in second orange, now moving in towards first. It's all on 9-10, and as he goes to plant, they'll move through the smoke, and he's dead to right. Magic, nice round from them, and it comes from two separate crossfires, which both have really, really good efficacy.
Yeah, I mean, close. Certainly close for him. If I don't know, he had like another half second to just get that AK up in time.
Even so, they get into the traded. There's no way. It's one guy runs to water, one guy runs to banana. There's no way. You're not Zywoo, pal. You ain't got that transfer on you. It's a good second round for Magic, and it's one that you can definitely build upon. Use a little bit of a springboard.
Well, they have to, I think.
Yes.
You know, if it goes to another situation of just one round, and then you get returned on, and MongolZ find 2 or 3 more before you're able to get another round, you know, it's really not going to be a good look. So absolutely got to convert this and turn this half into something salvageable, and then maybe serviceable. Early nade damage, early kill on AW, and they are looking to press the attack here as well at top end of Banana. Asphalt does get away with it. They've kind of conditioned the MongolZ a little bit to maybe expect 3 players. Little did they know, I think if they just fully got the accelerator going, they would have broken into B there. Not going to be the case, but they will take that first kill and try and run with it.
Off the initial move as well from the MongolZ, they go quiet. Feign presence as they're trying to draw out Magic into a fight, but also draw out utility. We drop some molly on towards the corner. That does give them the ability to move up through short now. Long slugs to come through as well, which will absolutely help. If they actually commit towards this A move, it's going to be great for them. 9-10 keeps his teammate alive, but MOUZ is here and he's going to deliver. I can't believe it. How is he not traded? Molly down. He might fall to the flames, and he does. It's a 1 versus 2. Tenzi's on the A site. They know this, so they are bombing it towards this B site.
Wow, they are insanely lucky here, guys. 9-10 bailing them out in Banana, finding both of those kills, making sure to get the trade that was going on over there. But yeah, Moon could have been absolutely devastating if he's a bit healthier and can take a fight like inside that molly.
Or even just get out through it, right? The issue is that he knows with like 30 points of HP, I can't run through this molly. I've just got to just hope and pray here. If he had like 60 points of HP, he gets out and then resets, and who knows? That's so close.
Yeah, the reset is enough as well. Just nothing coming in the end. Blitz looking nice and clean. Crazy. But yeah, not much that can be done in that game state. And as we talked about, here it is. The bounce back immediately from the MongolZ.
Yeah, it's flash in the pan. That's
right
it.
back to square one. I mean, 2 rounds is just... It's not enough, is it, guys? You know, we all know that. It really is not enough to work with. Where's Techno going? Then he gets caught in the smoke in the molly. Doesn't quite know what day of the week it is. Maybe expecting some kind of a half buy here. Just about have the econ to put it together, but I think they've maybe miscalculated ever so slightly. Some pretty aggressive facing here. It is a weak gun round as they go. Weak reaction there from Tenzi, but the reaction's still pretty good. So Magic able to also do some bouncing themselves. Pretty springy few rounds here, as the MongolZ going to let one slip through their fingers. Still only 3 rounds. Give me 1 more. Maybe I start to think about it. If you can get it up to 5, would be a hell of a recovery, but we're yet to see things like that.
Yeah, I do think as well for Techno, I think he realizes like a second late that like that nade is bounced off the wall, so he's got to be sandbagged. I think he's like so trained on corner wall. Yeah. And they'd realize, or maybe even got calmed over, like that was sandbags. That wasn't a deep nade. Fade 8. We'll find the last. Doesn't opt to scoop up the AWP, to be fair. He keeps hold of the FAMAS. Interesting. I feel like double AWP is something that actually the MongolZ use super effectively in towards Mirage. That was their real key change-up. We kind of spoke about it quite a lot. Like, when you run out of the strat book, how do you actually find other ways to win? For the MongolZ, getting Cobra's Air in towards that secondary AWP was so good. Because 9-10 was already having an absolute stormer of a map. But he looked really solid. But they don't opt to do it themselves. I guess maybe as well, partly for Fade 8. He probably realizes that money's running a little bit thin. So he's like, right, I'm probably better off having something that is essentially a rifle of any sort, even if it is a less than premium one.
Could have gone to an M4 here. Yeah. To be fair, but, you know, they love a bonus. Especially CT sides. Not wasting any time, the MongolZ. Oh, this could be deadly. These are pretty good. They're able to find the man advantage. Mayday goes down in towards CT. A lot of control gain. Blitz comes back. We're into a 2 versus 2. Mazzinho softened up. That's kind of the only thing that really is worth noting at this stage. Moon in from Banana on that AWP. Full belt of utility for both these players, pretty much. They do have a kit as well to work with. Doubled up in new box. Not going to be able to get the Molotov out. Maybe second time of asking, but the AWP just wants to contact in. He does have that molly. Does he expect a second player there? Was he seen? Was he noticed? Was he heard? It doesn't look like it, and Mizinho finds the timing. MongolZ with a huge steal. That's a low buy that goes their way.
Yeah, that's a round seemingly out of nowhere. And for Magic, that's such a poor one to lose, or such a tilter of a round to lose. Like, you'll put yourself into a spot where we can recover this half. We can get up towards, like, you know, a 7-5, which is workable. We were kind of drawing this narrative for Fisher College in that map number 2. Like, a 7-5 is doable. A couple of things still got to go right, but ultimately it's a nice-ish spot to be in. But not to be, and we can get our third 9-3 half in a row, potentially. Mooney's so lucky to be alive. Save for AW. How are these people not in the grave?
I feel like MongolZ might know that as well from some of the fights. It's like these guys have,
Both of them, I think. Yeah, that's confirmed damage.
Kobe0's Mac 10 has made its way out in brackets. What are they going to do with him? A little flash towards short, but not much spotted at this point. Full smoke's coming in, so it looks like they will try and dedicate towards the A-bomb site. 4 players for the CT side. Half decent flash, but not quite good enough. Spade 8 in the right place at the right time. But the bomb heavily bailed off, I guess, as they don't find success. So they will try and very quickly pivot towards B as best they can. Techno's in relatively deep here. AW as well has to give it up because of his low HP. Deep CT smoke. It's all looking very good for MongolZ. 4 versus 2. It's not out of the question here, guys. They will be coming in. They will be playing a bit thick and fast. There's no kit, it would seem. So all these factors working against Magic, and of course the HP to finish things off. AW, though, his patience pays off, and Spade 8's had a nice round, landing some good shots. 8-4.
Yeah.
Is it enough? You know, it remains in that question mark point of whether Magic are going to be able to turn things around in the second half.
Generally speaking as well, statistically, this map is pretty even. It's like 52% CT side, something along those lines. So, yeah, it's difficult. Definitely really hard to kind of fathom still for me. I'm still leaning MongolZ taking this within 2, but I think that will alleviate this is maybe something along the lines of, like, you get a pistol, you get a force buy. Competitive first gun round, then maybe we can start to believe. But I think with how this first half's gone, MongolZ are still in the driver's seat, winning the sales, whatever you want to call it, and it's up to now Magic to dig deep, find a second wind. It's not out of the realms of possibility, but it's still statistically kind of against them, and I think that's the kind of killer thing. And I feel like we're not seeing maybe enough, at least for me, yet, out of Magic, where it's like enough to grasp onto. Like, it's a lot of individual moments here and there. MongolZ looks a little bit more like a team. 9-10 still looking really solid, but generally it feels quite team-based. Like, they're calling really well, they're playing really well in that sense.
Yeah, and it's tough. I feel like MongolZ are the kind of team, because they play a bit messy, a bit scrappy and whatnot. There are going to be enough slip-ups that teams will be able to get rounds against them unless they are just so much better, which, as we've seen, is just not necessarily the case against Magic. Asphalt spinning around. He plays super high sense, this guy, as well.
Yeah.
I'm noticing a
I
lot
do
of
feel like,
shakiness
though,
in places.
Yeah, no, Maswell is really high sense, but I also feel like this surely he's got to up his DPI.
Oh, yeah, for that. Yeah,
It's crazy how much he spins. But you can see, like, how, like, stuttery his aim is. That isn't, though.
Apparently, a lot of the new gens do.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the days of, like, Nico having an EDPI of, like, I think 800 was about average, you know.
Yeah, I think his...
that feels a bit low now. Some of them even a bit lower than that.
There was someone we
700
recently that had, like, an EDPI like 500. I remember when it was so low. Because I was saying, like, this guy's aiming with his whole arm.
Yeah.
There's some pretty low ones, but yeah, you're right. A lot of these youngsters... super high. I don't even know what my EDPI is.
Tough to...
I don't know. It's like a calculator, right?
Mine's a little... It's just, you know, times them together.
I'm 801.
Okay, well, you'd be 2, because I think it works off of 400 DPI being like the base number.
There you go. 800 DPI, 1 cent.
I'm like,
Is that right?
maybe you'd be 400, I guess. I don't know, whatever. It's average. Yours is average, for sure. Either way, we're in towards this A-bomb site. Zinio finding that first head, 9-10, looking to hold the line, clean on the first. He's got a couple more to play with here as well. Ooh. They will take him down. Has he bought enough time? 20 seconds to get that bomb planted. These blocks are going to have to pop off. And they very nearly do. Not quite, though. Just the initial finds from the CT side enough to get them done. And the pistol going the way of the MongolZ is really not what Magic wanted here, to just, as we talked about, get that reset. Clean slate in the second half. You know, it's a different game, but no, it is more of that first half as MongolZ remain in control. Yeah,
it's a little scary there, definitely for a moment, but I think, yeah, ultimately, in the end, those couple of kills right at the start is what alleviates the pressure as that round starts to proceed. 9-4. We do go for the force here, Magic. I don't love this. It kind of reeks of desperation. I don't mind if you're forcing behind a bomb plant. When you're forcing just for the sake of forcing, that, for me, feels like you're really desperate. I'd give up around it, give up the 10th, and then try and go for the run back. But maybe I speak too soon. An opener from MassFoul on a laboured 9-10, who definitely should have got 2 there.
Yeah, really doable round now, actually. Another moto smoke coming in. We've got a man sort of trapped in banana. Techno does find that kill pretty quick, though. He's going to be able to join the rest of the party. And they will just kind of send it to try and get this one done. There's no kit available. They really do just have to move in fast. Nade is a decent idea, but it's not quite a player in towards pit itself. Oh. Over faces, though, maybe getting a little overzealous, feeling like they have to force the issue. And they will indeed all go down. Where is that bomb? Little panicked, but in that default spot. MongolZ kind of saving the day. To be honest, that felt pretty dicey, but I will say Magic overstepping, overcooking, we might say.
They definitely made life harder for themselves. They just overfight. I think, you know, your best friend in a spot like that, especially in a 3 versus 3 post plant, it's the clock, it's the time, right? And I think that's what they were really, what they should have been kind of coming back on, but they were hoping that they could win a name duel, which would, you know, throw a bit of a spanner in the works. MongolZ do very, very well. A lot of sides would not even give that retake a go, so credit to them for going in. Inferno, it's so save heavy, we know this. But a lot of teams in a 3 versus 3 where you've got like a moto smoke down as well, that's it. Like, there's no way you give this a look in. And top level teams would just say, yeah, this is a write-off. No matter, even though we know it's like mainly Tech 9s on the other side and whatever you dropped. Ready for them having a look in, 9-10. I'll open things up. It's not a bad attempt at the force buy, despite my critiques, but it's still a lost one. It does hurt what should be the full buy here.
Yeah, this is really looking good. A fantastic start from the MongolZ once again. And Magic, you know, you can't play the same sort of half. You can't be late to wake up. You don't have time. Not a luxury in this second half. Contact in is a little dangerous. 9-10 trades his teammate instantaneously, but they are left in a scary spot, to be fair. MassFoul unable to trade as they just drop back on that Mongol side and really keeping them at bay. I think they're unsure. Where is that bomb? Nice idea here from Magic. Bit of a leap out of the MongolZ book as they try and confuse things. Head towards B. Oh, Techno. Flash comes in. It's a little dodgy, but he does manage to make it work. They're quite blind. That's all you need. The bomb will go down. MassFoul, his position relatively well known where he's going to be coming from here. It does make me worry. It's still not quite in the realms of, oh, there's no time. So just have to be careful. Cobra does well to deliver, but it's close. If he'd have gone down, which he was only really 1 or 2 bullets away from, round is definitely on. Not the case, though. Magic coming close. MongolZ seeing it over the line.
Yeah.
Still some messy rounds in here, but looking to take clean 2-0 if things continue like this.
Yeah, it's close, but it really is getting to do or die territory, unfortunately, for Magic. And then an awkward spot when, you know, the enemy hits 11, you've got a horrible choice to make of, do we force by here and just force by out the rest of this game, or do we take a step back, but in theory, give them map point? They're going for option 2, which is actually a bit more of a rarity. We see quite commonly, especially within like the online space, teams forced by this round every time, right? They always go for this because they don't want to play 4 OT. Magic, they think that's their best option. Let's see if that is the right call. Doesn't start well, as Fade 8 will fall. A lot of damage, Moon gonna fall to the flames. Uh-oh. Whether he was blind or whatnot, he doesn't make the move out of the fire, and down he'll go into an early casket, and so will this banana control as Techno gets aggressive for his third, and Tenzi's all that's left. 1 versus 5, not a chance in hell for him. Even at 1 point is a luxury that he cannot get close to. Constellation kills will be as good as it gets. It's 2. Not quite the third. Damage though. We'll give him that. We'll give him that.
For him,
Yeah.
I don't know, in the grander scheme, unfortunately, it's just not really all that impactful.
Map and series point.
Yeah, looking very, very good, the MongolZ here on this map. And as we maybe predicted, again, keeping it up for an entire series is the real test, the real difficulty. Magic have been able to do that.
Yeah.
Started slow. That's hard after the first map. Then you get a rifle round and you lose the follow-up. That's hard after the first. You know, everything just compounds and compounds and compounds into what we're seeing here, which could be pure domination. Maybe not, though. The MongolZ wanting to get it done a little quick, looking for some highlight moments of their own. And, well, they've created space for their opponents to get back in. The nade is good. I think comes a little late that Mazzinho had dinked him up. Whereabouts was he? Very, very chaotic in the comms, but 9-10.
What?
He's just a one-man army right now. He's found 3 kills in really quite aggressive parameters as well.
He's 17 and 8.
CQB. He might be looking for 18, but it might go the way of Blitz. Depends how he looks. Moon's got a full belt. He's got that bomb, importantly, and he's got a lot of advantage to work with. Smoke will come in. That confirms his location. Rotation around. Molotov in the wrong place, and Blitz is just hidden. Perfect spot. No, come on
don't
now.
do it.
Come on now. And he let him turn around as well. My goodness gracious. That's very cheeky from Blitz, but he was absolutely dead to rights. It's going to be that 2-0 with a 13-40 finish.
And fun fact for you, Blitz is the most knife kills of any professional
Well, I can
at
see
the
why.
tier 1 level. There you go.
That is
and he's adding more to
absolutely
the
no
tally.
respect.
Yeah.
Absolutely no respect.